Chapter 1401 Enslavement after victorious fight. Large numbers of year beasts, chicken, sheep, monkey, dog, pig, horse, tiger, rabbit, they bore their fangs and claws as they attacked Feng Juzhe. Feng Juzhe was soon encircled. But he was daring and courageous, his expression did not change, he was still calm and composed. "Come at me," he shouted, his body shook as he used an immortal killer move. Ding ding ding, there was a clear crisp sound in the battlefield. It was like countless jade pearls landing on a jade plate. Immortal killer move, green jade song. The year beasts closer to him suffered injuries, they were corroded by the song as they quickly turned into green jade stones. The year beasts' ferocious attacks were immediately resisted. But soon, from the year beast group, 8 ancient year beasts emerged. Dragon, snake, tiger, ox, they attacked Feng Juzhe from 4 directions. Feng Juzhe snorted, the sound waves around him grew more intense, around him, a green jade sound wave pushed towards his surroundings. Boom boom boom, the 8 ancient year beasts were pushed back to their original places by these intense sound waves. Before they landed, they were turned into jade statues as they shattered, dying as they broke into small jade pieces. Green jade song is so powerful. The Shadow Sect immortals lying in ambush saw this and expressed their shock. Only Fang Yuan's expression did not change. He knew some intel. He knew about the battle between Qin Baisheng and Feng Juzhe thanks to Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance. Feng Juzhe's green jade song has gotten much stronger since the Battle of Luopo Valley. It seems he has improved it a lot. Green jade song is secondary, but if he uses submission song, half of the year beasts here would likely turn into my enemy. However, even if that happens, hee. Fang Yuan laughed internally. There was a lump of water in his right palm. This ball of water was emitting a weak eerie ripple, looking at it, it seemed to be the water of the river of time. But in truth, it was a rank 8 immortal GU. Years flow like water. Indeed, this immortal GU obtained from He Fan's true inheritance had always been sealed. But now, Fang Yuan had unsealed and used it. Immortal killer move, year beast summoning. It was the same name, but the current year beast summoning was completely different from before. This was because the core was no longer year GU, but the rank 8 immortal GU years flow like water. He Fan's true inheritance was very detailed about this. There were 2 versions, year beast summoning using year GU as the core, as well as using years flow like water immortal GU as the core. The ordinary year beast summoning could only summon 1 year beast. But the one that Fang Yuan was using now could summon an army of year beasts. Immortal killer move, submission song. Indeed, as the battle continued, Feng Juzhe used this incredible killer move. The entire place was silent. The song could not be heard with the ears, it was heard in every GU immortals and year beast's mind directly. The year beast army went into chaos. Because many year beasts submitted to Feng Juzhe and fought against their former allies. Submission song encompassed wisdom path, enslavement path, sound path, and soul path, it affected the mind. The inspiration was obtained during the battle with Qin Baisheng when he used 5-finger fist heart sword. Many desolate level year beasts and ancient year beasts switched sides and obeyed Feng Juzhe. The battle changed intensely. Fairy Miao Yin and Lady White Rabbit, who were watching the battle, gasped in shock. But Fang Yuan was still calm. He continued to use immortal killer move year beast summoning. Rank 8 immortal GU years flow like water could be used by even rank 6 GU immortals. And Fang Yuan was already experienced with using this immortal killer move, year beast summoning, he had practiced it so that he could use it in battle one day. If one did not have huge worries, they would worry about smaller things. Fang Yuan was a vigilant person, he had preparations in advance, at this moment, he benefited greatly from it, thus he had no problems. Year beast summoning will continue to summon year beasts, I want to see how many your submission song can control. At a certain stage, even immemorial year beasts will respond and come here. Year beast summoning was a time path method that had the effect of enslavement path. And enslavement path excelled in battles of attrition. Feng Juzhe was a strong enemy, Fang Yuan was not counting on being able to kill him currently. Moreover, Feng Juzhe was backed by Heavenly Court, there might be other rank 8 GU immortals hiding somewhere. Because of these 2 reasons, Fang Yuan decided to hide himself and use the year beasts to attack and expend his energy. An endless stream of year beasts continued to rush out of the tributary of the River of Time, responding to Fang Yuan's call and attacking Feng Juzhe. Soon, the number of year beasts on this battlefield reached 100 and more. A large number of year beasts made a circle and surrounded Feng Juzhe. Feng Jiuzhe relied on submission song to control the year beasts and avert the crisis, creating his own defensive circle within the encirclement. The battle was in a deadlock. This scene was clearly observed by Fairy Ziwei. She was in Central Continent's Heavenly Court, but using the investigative killer move, and star constellation chessboard, she could observe the entire battlefield clearly. Fairy Ziwei's eyes were flickering with thoughts. Killing Fang Yuan, and taking or destroying Red Lotus, true inheritance was her main objective now. She had already made all the plans, Feng Jiuzhe was just a part of them. Even though the battle was in a deadlock, Fairy Ziwei was aware that Feng Jiuzhe was not using his full strength. Even if he was, he still had the rank 8 Immortal GU that Heavenly Court had lent him. Right now, everything is under my control. Fairy Ziwei willed as the image on Star Constellation chessboard changed to another battle. 2 Heavenly Court GU Immortals were fighting against an upper extreme Heavenly Eagle. This upper extreme Heavenly Eagle was the one which had escaped from Fang Yuan's control and flew away. The upper extreme Heavenly Eagle cried out, it had injuries on it. It did not have any Immortal GU, even though it was an immemorial desolate beast, it was too hard to fight against 2 Heavenly Court GU Immortals. The battle was not in its favor. This upper extreme Heavenly Eagle has Fang Yuan's tracking method on it. As long as we capture it, I will be able to reverse deduce his location. Of course, right now, Fang Yuan and the others have been hit by my investigative killer move. Capturing the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle is to prevent Fang Yuan from regaining control of this immemorial desolate beast in the future. Fairy Ziwei planned. Fang Yuan was a complete otherworldly demon, he was no longer under fate's control, he was the biggest uncertainty in this world. Right now, he had Giant Sun's true inheritance, the combination of otherworldly demon and luck path meant that these uncertainties were stacking up, leading to greater unknowns. Spectral Soul was captured already, Fang Yuan was now Heavenly Court's biggest threat. But Heavenly Court could not use its full strength against Fang Yuan. Firstly, Fang Yuan had extremely strong luck, if too many people went after him, he would benefit from the misfortune instead. Only someone of similarly high luck could stop Fang Yuan's luck path advantage from showing. This was the reason why Fairy Ziwei arranged for Feng Jiuzhe to deal with Fang Yuan. Secondly, Heavenly Court also needed to develop. The Great Era was coming, the 5 regional walls would dissipate and the 5 regions would become one. Without any geographical obstacles, GU Immortals could travel freely, there was sure to be chaos. During such unprecedented chaotic battles, Heavenly Court would be in an awkward spot. Because it was encircled by southern border, northern plains, eastern sea, and western desert, Central Continent was right in the middle, bordering all 4 regions. Once battle erupted, Central Continent would face great pressure, it might get into great trouble. Thus, Heavenly Court needed to prepare itself. At the same time, Star Constellation Heavens will also instructed Duke Long and Fairy Ziwei that she needed many rank 8 GU Immortals to hibernate in the future. Even though Fairy Ziwei did not understand why this was needed, she trusted Star Constellation Heavens will and Duke Long. Lady Ziwei, there is great news. At this time, a Heavenly Court GU Immortal sent a letter GU to Fairy Ziwei. Fairy Ziwei knew that this person was recently recruited, originally being a supreme elder in one of the 10 great ancient sects, Yuan Chongdu. Ever since the Battle of the Dream Realm, Fairy Ziwei had elevated multiple GU Immortals from the 10 great ancient sects to become members of Heavenly Court. The 2 Heavenly Court GU Immortals who informed Feng Jiuzhe and were now chasing the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle were also such people. As for this Yuan Chongdu, because he cultivated refinement path, Fairy Ziwei tasked him with the mission of repairing Fate GU. What good news? Fairy Ziwei asked. I have bought a batch of year beasts in Treasure Yellow Heaven. The seller might not know, but these year beasts are different from normal year beasts, they are filled with Heaven's will. I can use these year beasts as immortal materials to repair Fate Immortal GU. Not only can we save time, we can use the Heaven's will inside to increase the effects. Yuan Chongdu was extremely excited. Very good. Fairy Ziwei's eyes were shining. Continue working hard. Yes, Lady Ziwei. This was indeed great news. Fairy Ziwei was quite happy. This way, Fate GU can be repaired even more quickly, until its wounds are healed. With Spectral Soul captured now, once news gets out, it will shake the world and deter all the forces. Thinking of this, Fairy Ziwei felt deep admiration towards Duke Long. Duke Long's wise and resolute attack created Heavenly Court's current huge advantage. If the 5 regions' chaotic war started, Central Continent could definitely benefit the most in the initial period. However, the true deciding factor of this chaotic war was one person. Great Dream Immortal Venerable, Western Desert. Fang Yuan was at a crucial moment. Fight Immortal GU was activated, around it were a large number of supplementary GU worms. Immortal Killer Move, Enslavement after Victorious Fight. The killer move activation succeeded, Fang Yuan's gaze turned sharp, he looked towards the Year Beast army. Countless Strength Path giant hands flew out and defeated these Year Beasts. The defeated Year Beasts no longer ran away, due to the effect of enslavement after victorious fight, they became Fang Yuan's slaves, gathering towards him. Chapter 1402, Farewell, Feng Ju. Under the effect of Immortal Killer Move enslavement after victorious fight, any life form defeated by Fang Yuan would have a high chance of being enslaved by him. The core of this move was the new rank 7 Immortal GU that Fang Yuan just got, Fight. By using all sorts of Wisdom Path supplementary GU worms, this Rule Path Immortal GU displayed its unique value. Enslavement after victorious fight was created by Immortal Zombie Dali. Immortal Zombie Dali was a second-generation split soul of Spectral Soul, he was known as the Martial Dual Heavenly King. He cultivated Strength Path and Wisdom Path together, he had the great strength true martial physique. After the first-generation split soul, Purple Mountain True Monarch, turned into a purple gold rock, he took over as the leader of Shadow Sect. However, afterwards, a mysterious GU Immortal with a red lotus insignia on their forehead appeared. After an intense battle, he lost and was suppressed by Immortal GU House Graceful Chaotic Dual Stage. This was the origin of the killer move Enslavement after victorious fight. It was an incredible killer move that combined both the profundities of Strength Path and Wisdom Path. Fang Yuan inherited Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance, he learned about this killer move. Of course, he was not familiar with it, he was only starting to use it now. However, unlike the other moves, this one only needed Fang Yuan to activate it in advance, he could sustain it very easily during the battle. Most immortal killer moves could not be used by Fang Yuan during battle because he was not familiar with them, if he failed in using them, he would be hurting himself. But at this moment, Fang Yuan had the initiative, he plotted to harm the Heavenly Court pursuers. Thus, he had enough time to prepare and after some failures, he successfully used enslavement after victorious fight. Next, Fang Yuan sustained enslavement after victorious fight as he multitasked, using Year Beast summoning to summon an army of Year Beasts from the tributary of the River of Time. However, even though there were many Year Beast summoning's flaw was still around. That was, the Year Beasts would not risk their lives for Fang Yuan. If they were injured, or if the enemies were too strong, they would retreat. This was different from Soul Beast summoning. The Soul Beast summoning that Spectral Soul created could force any Soul Beast to fight to the death for the GU Immortal, disregarding its own life. Year Beast summoning was created by He Fan. Even though He Fan was a Time Path great expert, he was far inferior to Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. Of course, even so, the strength of Year Beast summoning could not be denied. All in all, this move was very useful. With rank 8 Immortal GU Years flow like water as the core, the GU Immortal could summon an army of Year Beasts. Against the enemy, such a huge number would result in a powerful encirclement, unless the enemy was a special rank 7 GU Immortal like Feng Ju or rank 8 GU Immortal. But in the GU Immortal world, how many rank 8 great experts and Feng Ju were there? Clap clap clap, Strength Path giant hands flew around, pushing the Year Beasts which were retreating onto the ground. These Year Beasts were under the effect of Year Beast summoning, fighting against Feng Ju. But after facing the power of Feng Ju, they wanted to retreat through the tributary of the River of Time. But Fang Yuan had already blocked their path of retreat, he used the giant hands to slam these Year Beasts to the ground. These Year Beasts were all subdued with enslavement after victorious fight and became Fang Yuan's slaves. But a portion of them were still resisting. Against these stubborn ones, Fang Yuan's response was to attack with more Strength Path giant hands. Clap clap clap, with several more slaps, very few of the Year Beasts stayed adamant. After all, they were not in good shape, most of them were injured from Feng Ju's attacks. Fang Yuan enslaved more and more Year Beasts. He opened his Immortal Aperture's entrance and kept these Year Beasts in his Immortal Aperture. As well as some Year Beast corpses. These unlucky ones were already injured and were killed by Fang Yuan's Strength Path giant hands when he slammed at them with too much force. Even though they died, they were still rank 6 and 7 Immortal materials. Fang Yuan did not let go of any. On the battlefield, Feng Ju killed most of the Year Beasts, before Fang Yuan used Year Beast summoning again to call more Year Beasts into battle. Next, he stayed concealed by the GU formation and used Feng Ju's strength to capture these Year Beasts. A moment later, Fang Yuan had 70 to 80 year beasts in his immortal aperture. Most of them were desolate level year beasts, a small portion were ancient year beasts. At this rate, I will be able to accumulate several hundred year beasts. Fang Yuan was joyous. Even though he did not have the batch of year beasts sold in Treasure Yellow Heaven, he farmed for them himself, he had quite a good harvest. However, with my soul foundation, I can enslave 100 year beasts at most. Fang Yuan estimated. His soul foundation was strong, but don't forget, he already had a group of eagles under his control. Maybe I should sell these eagles. Fang Yuan was hesitant, but he suddenly felt a shiver as his body tensed up. A strong and aged aura emerged from the tributary of the river of time behind him. An immemorial year beast, it was lured here by years flow like water. Fang Yuan understood. Fang Yuan did not place years flow like water immortal GU in the sovereign immortal aperture, thus, the immemorial year beast was lured here by the immortal GU, arriving through the tributary of the river of time. After sensing the aura of the immemorial year beast, the year beasts on the battlefield became frenzied, they suddenly fought more boldly. Feng Juzhe felt his pressure intensifying, especially when the difficulty of enslaving those year beasts with submission song increased by many times now. Rumble, a huge tiger claw emerged from the tributary of the river of time. Creating a huge wave made of river water, the tiger claw struck at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was prepared for it, he had kept the year beasts and shadow sex immortals in his immortal aperture. When the tiger claw arrived, he had already flown away. The huge tiger claw crashed down like a mountain, the formation that Fang Yuan created was destroyed by the tiger claw easily. Roar! The tiger immemorial year beast did not hit, but it sensed that the delicious years flow like water was leaving it, it roared as the sound waves produced spread out like thunder. Swish swish swish! The tributary of the river of time created huge waves that crashed outwards. The tiger immemorial desolate beast was unhappy, it wanted to try and get out of this tributary of the river of time. But it was too huge, its foundation was too deep, this tributary of the river of time was too small for it. But it was not a problem, the tiger claws slashed around the place as the tiger immemorial year beast tried to expand this tributary of the river of time. The tributary of the river of time quickly became wider as its size increased. This superb time path resource point was ruined. Even though the size of it was going to increase by many times, it had lost its balance. After a while, this tributary of the river of time would entirely return to the main river. Of course, this was nothing to the immemorial year beast, it did not care. Feng Juzhe saw that Fang Yuan approached him, his eyes shined with brilliance as he stayed vigilant. Fang Yuan had Feng Juzhe blocking him in front and the immemorial year beast behind him, he seemed to be in great danger. But in reality, he was smiling lightly, feeling extremely confident. He did not even use reverse flow protection seal, he activated rank 8 immortal GU years flow like water again. Fang Yuan has a rank 8 immortal GU. Feng Juzhe's pupils shrunk. But he was not surprised. Fang Yuan took over Shadow Sect, it was normal to have such an inheritance. I wanted to get rid of all the heavenly court pursuers, too bad only Feng Juzhe came here. HMPH. Fang Yuan smiled coldly, years flow like water immortal GU stared to shine in a pure white light in his hands. The white light shone over the area, turning this dark tunnel into a bright place. Under the strong light, a GU formation started to activate. This is. Feng Juzhe found that he was trapped in the GU formation. But earlier, this huge GU formation did not activate, it was hidden perfectly, fusing with the environment flawlessly. Rank 8 years flow like water, it was the core of this GU formation, under its lead, the GU formation activated. Feng Juzhe was on guard, but this GU formation's power did not seem to target him. Rumble, like a dam that had accumulated for years unleashing the floodgates, the tributary of the river of time turned into a raging river in a few breaths' time. It turned out that this GU formation's true target was this tributary of the river of time itself. Feng Juzhe subconsciously held his breath. At this instant, the tributary of the river of time was overflowing, it seemed to have become the main river of time. The river water surged and created huge waves that blocked out the sky. The unstoppable waves devoured Fang Yuan instantly, before moving towards Feng Juzhe. Feng Juzhe naturally wanted to escape, even though there were many year beasts, with his nimble movement, they were of no obstruction to him. But the river of time could not be comprehended by normal standards. So fast, Feng Juzhe was dazzled, he found that the river of time's waves were already directly above him. The river of time was a time path secluded domain of heaven and earth. Wherever it flowed towards, there was no concept of flow speed, only time itself mattered. The water of the river of time only needed an instant to travel 10 million li, or it could take a million years to travel an inch. I cannot evade it. Feng Zhuzhe instantly understood this. He used his defensive methods to protect himself. Rumble. Hearing the sound of crashing waves around him, Feng Zhuzhe's body was engulfed by the huge waves, completely submerged. But Fang Yuan managed to emerge from the water of the river of time using the GU formation. Flood discharge formation, break. Fang Yuan called out in his mind as the GU formation broke apart. Without the GU formation, the tributary of the river of time was instantly attracted towards the main river of time. This was because the flood earlier had surpassed the limits of this tributary of the river of time. Such a tributary was not going to flow out of the main river. This was no longer the power of the GU formation, it was the power of heaven and earth, the supreme power of the river of time itself. Rumble rumble. Amidst the loud crashes, Feng Zhuzhe was swept into the main river. Even the tiger immemorial desolate beast that wanted to come out was obstructed by the main river. After a few breaths of time, the tributary of the river of time vanished completely. Only a large area of the ripples of time were still flickering silently. The year beasts in the battlefield had all returned to the river of time. Farewell, Feng Zhuzhe. Fang Yuan said lightly as he stored the GU worms used in the formation and left the place. Chapter 1403. Self-Love Immortal GU. Northern Plains, Langya Blessed Land. In the refinement hall, after months of refining GU, the most crucial moment was here. Langya Land Spirit stood at the edge of a refinement path super GU formation. His eyes observed the GU formation that was blazing with fire. This fire was icy blue in color. It was not hot, but cold instead. Even the super GU formation could not isolate this blazing ice fire completely. Langya Land Spirit stood at the side of the GU formation. His brows and beard were covered in a thin layer of blue frost. But he did not care, he was concentrated on that fire. Or rather, the profound ice at the center of the fire. The profound ice was still melting, but it was also continuing to form. The initial profound ice had sharp edges, but under Langya Land Spirit's refinement, it was already smooth and had a rather round appearance now. 5 traces of Fandor wind. Langya Land Spirit suddenly said. Hairy Man GU Immortal 6th hair was currently assisting him. He quickly worked as he heard that, using a special method to take out 5 traces of the Fandor wind from the immortal material inventory. This Fandor wind was a rank 7 immortal material. It was very special. It did not grow in deep forests or mountains, or even the sky. It grew in the doors of the homes of mortals. Whenever this immortal material was produced, the mortal's door would not be able to close, it could only stay open. This special phenomenon attracted the attention of GU masters very quickly, and caused GU immortals to come and collect it. But initially, this Fandor wind immortal material could not be used, nobody understood its use. But now, there were profound methods and plans to make use of it. The 5 traces of the Fandor wind were carefully sent to the center of the ice fire by Langya Land Spirit. Soon, the 5 traces of the wind surrounded the profound ice, circling it like 5 delicate hands, hastening the transformation of the profound ice. Oh no, but the success was short-lived. Langya Land Spirit's expression suddenly changed as he called out. 6th hair had a feeling as he looked over. He saw that the ice fire had extinguished, the profound ice broke as the 5 traces of the Fandor wind also vanished. Ah, I failed again. Langya Land Spirit stomped his feet, shouting loudly in deep anger and unhappiness. 6th hair sighed deeply. It was a pity. They were at the final few steps. But they failed. Their months of hard work had gone down the drain. If I used the hairy man heaven and earth style, this would not have happened. Langya Land Spirit snorted coldly. 6th hair quickly reminded. But first Supreme Elder, according to the sect rules, Elder Fang Yuan paid a huge amount of contribution points for this, we need to follow his request. Sigh, this Fang Yuan has lost his mind. Why does he want to use the human GU refinement method? Is he trying to mess around with me? The failure of the GU refinement gave Langya Land Spirit a horrible mood. 6th hair quickly spoke up for Fang Yuan. Elder Fang Yuan has always been mysterious. Even though I do not like him, it seemed like he had used up all his assets for this, using a vast amount of sect contribution points to refine Immortal GU. He even needs 3 Immortal GU. If he wants to purposely trouble First Supreme Elder, he would not have paid such a huge price, right? Sigh, I was just venting. Langya Land Spirit was dejected. He waved his hand. Let's rest first for a while. This is the 5th failure already. Fang Yuan's sect contribution points are not enough. Contact him and tell him the result of the GU refinement. If he wants more attempts, he will need enough sect contribution points. Yes, sixth hare replied. Fang Yuan flew like an arrow shooting rapidly in the sky. He had no mood to admire the beauty of this desert. At this moment, his mind was on the battle against Feng Juzhe. That tributary of the River of Time in the Sand Whirlpool was a secret cultivation resource of Shadow Sect. It was listed in Shadow Sect's map. Before Purple Mountain True Monarch died, he had instructed me to go to the River of Time and interact with spectral souls while inside the Ghost-Face Red Lotus. Even though Fang Yuan inherited Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance and obtained a lot of killer moves, Immortal GU recipes and secrets, he had only gotten about half of Shadow Sect's assets. The Ghost-Face Red Lotus in the River of Time contained spectral souls' will. It had almost all of Shadow Sect's cultivation details. It even had a portion of Spectral Soul Demon Venerable's true inheritance. Shadow Sect had existed for 100,000 years. When Spectral Soul Demon Venerable was alive, he had slaughtered the world and caused deep despair in everyone. Even though Shadow Sect was destroyed, the cultivation information it had was unthinkably vast and grand. For example, Immortal GU houses. Fang Yuan currently knew the complete construction details of 12 Immortal GU houses. But in actuality, Spectral Soul Demon Venerable and Shadow Sect had far more than 12. The rest of the information could only be obtained when Fang Yuan went to the Ghost-Face Red Lotus. As for Red Lotus, true inheritance, it is also inside the River of Time. I have Spring Autumn Cicada, I hold the key to the true inheritance. Fang Yuan was definitely going to the River of Time. The tributaries of the River of Time in the 5 regions were his entrances. Even though Fang Yuan lost 1 to eliminate Heavenly Court's pursuers, it was not a problem. Shadow Sect had left behind 5 or 6 of them. However, in Western Desert, Shadow Sect only has control of 1 final tributary of the River of Time. To play safe, I should head to the 2 resource points first. Before I am completely ready, I should not go there. Fang Yuan made his decision. Right now, he was in Western Desert. It bordered Northern Plains, Southern Border, and Central Continent. But Fang Yuan could not go to these 3 regions. Central Continent had Heavenly Court and the 10 great ancient sects. Fang Yuan could not head there. Northern Plains had Longevity Heaven, which was hunting Fang Yuan. Southern Border had the Righteous Path GU Immortals who were chasing after Shadow Sect earlier. Western Desert was the best place to hide. As for Eastern Sea, Shadow Sect only had the location of 1 tributary of the River of Time. And unfortunately, this tributary of the River of Time was already taken by Miao Mingshen. Speaking of which, it was Fang Yuan's fault. He was the one who found it and told Miao Mingshen. Back then, Purple Mountain True Monarch had tried to use the tributary of the River of Time to meet the Ghost-Face Red Lotus. When he was in Eastern Sea, he could not find the tributary of the River of Time. He had to go to Southern Border for that. My biggest problem now is the investigative killer move on me. It is exposing my location to Heavenly Court's GU Immortals. And without Dark Limit Immortal Goose protection, Heaven's Will is plotting at all times to get rid of me. The problem is, I lack Immortal GU. I have so many killer moves, but I lack the core Immortal GU. With the core Immortal GU, I will be able to dispel this investigative killer move and hide from Heaven's Will again. While thinking, Fang Yuan received Sixth Hare's letter. He looked into it and the contents made him frown. The GU refinement failed again. Damn it, even though he succeeded in plotting against Feng Juzhe, Heavenly Court was not only going to send him alone against Fang Yuan. Heavenly Court had other methods, it was only a matter of time. This Wisdom Path Immortal GU, Self-Love Immortal GU, needs to be refined as rank 7 from the start. It is quite difficult. I have been observing the GU refinement all along. Langya Land Spirit has been giving it his all, he is not working half-heartedly. Sixth Hare said. Fang Yuan did not suspect his words. Langya Land Spirit was straightforward and honest, Fang Yuan believed it. The failure was normal. After all, the success rate of a rank 7 Immortal GU was too low. But this Self-Love Immortal GU was necessary to Fang Yuan, and he needed it as soon as possible. With it, Fang Yuan would be able to use a killer move from Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance to get rid of the investigative killer move on him. This was possible. Fang Yuan had confidence in that. Refine it, we need to refine it, even if I go bankrupt, we must do it. Fang Yuan gritted his teeth, firming his mind. It was too easy to get Langya sect contribution points now, because Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance was too plentiful. But, I cannot remain passive now. I succeeded against Feng Juzhe because I caught him by surprise and used the rank 8 Immortal GU years flow like water. Heavenly Court had not gotten information about it yet. But it has already been exposed, I need to hurry up. It seems I need to use that method. Fang Yuan's eyes shined with determination. He replied, for this refinement, sixth hair will do the refining while Lang Yalan's spirit will help out on the side. Sixth hair received Fang Yuan's reply and saw it, feeling rather surprised. He knew that his GU refinement technique was inferior to Lang Yalan's spirit, and since he was not purposely failing, why did Fang Yuan want sixth hair to do the GU refinement? In the river of time, raging water could be heard around him. Feng Juzhe was swept into the river by the raging waves. This is the river of time. He tried to regain his footing, but he felt the power of time path invading his immortal body. Strong, incredibly strong, the protection of Feng Juzhe's immortal body was quite exemplary. But in just a moment, he felt that he was heavily resisted by the surrounding environment. Feng Juzhe understood that because he was full of sound path Dao marks, he could not coexist with the time path Dao marks. As expected of the river of time, I need to get out as soon as possible. Feng Juzhe wanted to leave, but looking back, the tributary of the river of time was already destroyed, only a thin ripple of time was left behind. This ripple was huge, but for Feng Juzhe, it was not an exit. This is a problem. I am not a time path GU immortal, I cannot get out using the ripple of time alone, what can I do? While he was uncertain, Feng Juzhe heard an explosion. A tiger's roar could be heard, as a huge tiger year beast emerged from the bottom of the river. With a loud sound, river water spattered. Feng Juzhe's pupils shrunk to pin size, his body was like an ant beside an elephant compared to the tiger year beast. An immemorial year beast. The shadow of death engulfed Feng Juzhe. Chapter 1404. Ziwei controls the situation. Ding ding ding. Hearing the sound around him, Feng Juzhe exerted his full power at this moment. Immortal killer move, Green Jade Song. The range of his song extended for several hundred steps, the immemorial tiger year beast's claw was covered in green jade color. But the claw was too huge, it still charged at him unhindered. Feng Juzhe gritted his teeth, dodging quickly. At the moment of crisis, he narrowly avoided the year beast's claw, even though he was not hit, the intense shock wave created from the attack assaulted Feng Juzhe. Feng Juzhe was like a kite with its strings cut, he was blown away. Goo! He was tossed up and flew above the river of time in an arc, spitting out blood in the process. No, my battle strength is too suppressed if I fight here. The river of time is filled with time path Dao marks, it has the most time path Dao marks in the world. With the conflict between Dao marks, my sound path killer moves have less than 10% of their original power. Feng Juzhe endured the intense pain and used his killer move to heal his injuries. His healing methods that were effective in the outside world had barely any effect here. Not only his healing methods, Feng Juzhe's movement killer move also became very slow. His green jade song originally had great power, but now, the tiger year beast only shook its claw to break that layer of jade rock around it easily. Evidently, green jade song was suppressed to the limit. Feng Juzhe only had rank 7 cultivation level, the reason why he had rank 8 battle strength was because his sound path Dao marks reached a quantity on par with rank 8 GU immortals. But because of Fang Yuan's plot, he was thrown into the river of time, his greatest advantage became his greatest weakness. The sound path Dao marks were far inferior in quantity compared to the river of time's Dao marks. This was also why Fang Yuan was confident that Feng Juzhe would suffer here. The immemorial tiger year beast stretched out its tongue and licked its wound on the right claw, it had a ferocious gaze as it charged at Feng Juzhe. It was very strong to begin with, it lived in the river of time, the time path Dao marks in it complemented the river of time, its territorial advantage was obvious. There were no rank 9 year beasts, immemorial year beasts were the overlords of the year beasts. The tiger roared and whipped up a storm. The huge tiger year beast sprinted and assaulted Feng Juzhe fiercely. Feng Juzhe tried to block it. But soon, he was injured again. He was completely suppressed, there was no chance to win. If he wanted to live, he had to find a tributary of the river of time and escape. But hope was too small. Because it was not easy to find a tributary of the river of time. Even if he found one, it had to be big enough for him to cross over. Feng Juzhe was a sound path GU immortal, he was not time path and did not have methods to escape from the river. Am I going to die here? Feng Juzhe had such a thought. But at this moment, a female immortal's voice resounded in his mind, use that rank 8 immortal GU. Rank 8 immortal GU, fate armor. Feng Juzhe hesitated. Heavenly Court gave him this immortal GU to protect his life. This was a defensive rank 8 immortal GU. But Feng Juzhe had always been doubtful. Why? He did not have any weakness in defense, even against Wu Yong, his defense could last for some time. Instead of lending this immortal Gu to him, they might as well have given him an immortal Gu for offense or movement. After all, Feng Juzhe's movement methods were lacking. And his 7 great songs, even though they were extremely powerful, they were killer moves, it was not as convenient as using one rank 8 immortal Gu directly to attack. After Feng Juzhe received this immortal Gu, he had tried to activate it. Fate armor was very powerful indeed, but it also expended a huge amount of immortal essence. Even someone like Feng Juzhe could barely endure the cost. If I stall for time, I will have to use my defensive methods while healing myself. If I use Fate armor immortal Gu, my immortal essence will not last for 50 breaths of time. Feng Juzhe calculated, but now, the immemorial year beast had already arrived in front of him. Feng Juzhe gritted his teeth. At the crucial moment, he chose to listen to that mysterious female voice. Rank 8 Immortal Gu, Fate Armor. At once, his red date immortal essence was rapidly expended, while a thin layer of armor made of light appeared on Feng Juzhe's body. But this armor made of light was completely unfazed by the immemorial year beast's attacks, it protected Feng Juzhe completely. Feng Juzhe was uninjured, but from the attacks of the immemorial year beast, he was slammed into the river of time. Once he fell into the depths of the river, a vast amount of the water of the river of time pressed towards Feng Juzhe. But Fate armor was very impressive, it did not waver, only some small cracks appeared on the surface. But this was very impressive. It was just a rank 8 immortal Gu. And this river of time was a secluded domain of heaven and earth, its Dao-mark accumulation was on par with rank 9 immortal Gu. The immemorial year beast flowed along the river, charging at Feng Juzhe again. Feng Juzhe sighed in his mind, this is tough. He tried to struggle to fly and escape the river of time. But the immemorial year beast had wisdom too, it did not let Feng Juzhe achieve his goal. Feng Juzhe was trapped in the river by the immemorial year beast's attacks, and he was also affected by the flow of the river. The situation was getting worse for Feng Juzhe, he had lost all initiative, if this continued, by the time his immortal essence ran out, he would die. Did I make a wrong decision earlier? That woman's voice was just a trap. While Feng Juzhe was unsure, a vortex of flowing water assaulted and surrounded him. Feng Juzhe was caught by surprise and wanted to struggle, when he heard a voice. Don't struggle, Feng Juzhe, I am a heavenly court Gu immortal, Lord Huangshi, I am here to help you. As he said that, the vortex expanded, until it was dozens of times as large as before. Countless bubbles obstructed the immemorial year beast's vision. Feng Juzhe did not dare to deactivate Fate armor, but he allowed himself to flow along the tornado, returning to the surface of the river of time. Over there, a bald Gu immortal with yellow clothes was waiting for him. Heavenly Court, Fairy Ziwei let out a breath of air. In the star constellation chessboard in front of her, the scene of Feng Juzhe being saved was displayed. At the crucial moment, the voice who reminded Feng Juzhe was naturally her, Fairy Ziwei. Rank 8 Immortal Gu Fate Armor, its true use was to give Lord Huangshi an accurate clue to find out Feng Juzhe's location. The river of time was hard to enter. It was harder for Gu Immortals to get in there compared to Black Heaven or White Heaven. Because rank 8 Gu Immortals were rare to begin with, and Time Path rank 8 Gu Immortals were just a small portion of them. But even so, Heavenly Court had its Time Path rank 8 Gu Immortals. Lord Huangshi was part of Fairy Ziwei's arrangements. Originally, Fairy Ziwei planned to have Feng Juzhe force Fang Yuan into the river of time to find the Red Lotus true inheritance. By then, the Time Path rank 8 great expert Lord Huangshi could go and attack him. But Fairy Ziwei did not expect Fang Yuan to give up a tributary of the river of time to set a trap and try to kill Feng Juzhe. Fang Yuan, this otherworldly demon, he is truly crafty. But after this battle, we have probed most of the content of He Fan's true inheritance. Even though he gave up a tributary of the river of time to make a trap, it affirmed my conjecture, Fang Yuan will definitely enter the river of time and take Red Lotus, true inheritance. With Fang Yuan's vigilant nature, it seems like he still has control of at least one tributary of the river of time in Western Desert. It is not a problem, with my investigative killer move, Fang Yuan's location is still exposed to me. Feng Juzhe kept his life, Fairy Ziwei immediately used star constellation chessboard to see another battlefield. Fang Yuan's upper extreme heavenly eagle was injured and was flying in Black Heaven. The two newly ascended Heavenly Court Gu Immortals were chasing it, they had suffered only minor injuries. The upper extreme heavenly eagle was powerful, but against two rank 8 GU immortals with immortal killer moves emerging one after another that coordinated with each other, it could not rival them. Feeling the threat of death, the upper extreme heavenly eagle moved according to its instincts, flying towards black heaven to try and shake off these enemies. Unfortunately, its actions were predicted by these two enemies. Boom! A killer move landed on the upper extreme heavenly eagle. The upper extreme heavenly eagle screamed in pain, it almost fell towards the ground but it tried to flap its wings and rise into the sky. The eagle blood spurted out, a long line of blood was drawn in black heaven. Immemorial desolate beasts had incredible healing speed, but the heavenly court GU immortals' killer moves were not simple either. The outcome is set. Fairy Ziwei's gaze flickered. Even though the upper extreme heavenly eagle was struggling, the course of battle was obvious, the two heavenly court GU immortals could not fail. One of them even used an immortal killer move to follow behind the upper extreme heavenly eagle. The faster the upper extreme heavenly eagle flew, the faster he would be. He could fly to wherever upper extreme heavenly eagle was without much effort. How could the wisdom of an upper extreme heavenly eagle match humans? Even human GU immortals could not counter immortal killer moves easily in battle. The two heavenly court GU immortals were afraid of the upper extreme heavenly eagle's last-ditch effort in attacking, and because they wanted to capture it alive, they kept dealing small injuries to weaken its battle strength. The upper extreme heavenly eagle could sense its bleak future, but it did not give up, it flapped and flew into the sky. Past black heaven, it came to white heaven. The heavenly wind chi wall was not an obstacle to it. But for the heavenly court GU immortals, it was a different story. The two heavenly court GU immortals could not pass the chi wall easily. But they were prepared for it. How could Fairy Ziwei not lend them an immortal GU house in advance? You will stay here and prevent it from making a detour, I will chase it. The two GU immortals cooperated perfectly, the upper extreme heavenly eagle had nowhere to flee. Even though some mishaps occurred, everything is within my expectations. Be it the humans, eagle, or red lotus, true inheritance, nothing can escape my control. Inside heavenly court, Fairy Ziwei's eyes squinted as she fully displayed the might of a wisdom path GU immortal. Chapter 1405, Burning Soul Bursting Luck. Western Desert. It was night time, stars were shining in the sky. In the desert, the difference in temperature during each day was larger, it was hot in the day and cold at night. Fang Yuan landed on a nameless sand dune softly. After flying for so long, there are no heavenly court pursuers coming. Was Feng Juzhe really the only one sent after me? Fang Yuan was suspicious. Forget it, I'll ignore that for now. Fang Yuan calmed down and opened his immortal aperture's entrance, letting out He Lu Lan, Bai Ningbing, and the rest. Next, I will use a killer move with Ying Wuxie, our battle strength will fall, our safety will be in your hands. Fang Yuan said to Bai Ningbing, Lady White Rabbit, Fairy Miao Yin, and He Lu Lan. The four immortals acknowledged it and moved out to patrol the surroundings. Fang Yuan set up an immortal GU formation. With precaution immortal GU as the core, the entire GU formation's original form was immortal formation from Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance. Fang Yuan was a formation path grandmaster, it was not hard to modify immortal formation. After adding in precaution immortal GU, the defense of this GU formation could not be underestimated. Of course, there were weaknesses and flaws in this formation, but it was only needed for the time being. Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance had 4 immortal GU formations, the strongest one was Purple Blood River formation. Unfortunately, Fang Yuan lacked certain immortal GU for all of these immortal GU formations, he could not set up any of them. If the GU formation was modified and used a vast number of mortal GU to replace the missing immortal GU, the deduction would take 2 to 3 days. Because of many reasons, Fang Yuan chose to set up this GU formation. This GU formation was enough for now, it was to defend against sneak attacks from the enemies. Most importantly, Fang Yuan needed to race for time. Heavenly Court not sending any more pursuers instead made Fang Yuan more worried. The GU formation closed, creating a simple temporary space. The GU formation space was very simple, it could not compare to the southern border Super GU formation's array of palaces. In this empty space, there was only Fang Yuan and Ying Wuxie. Sect leader, let me do it. For Shadow Sect, for our goal, I will do my best. Ying Wuxie was filled with fighting spirit. Fang Yuan nodded. Then you can go first. Ying Wuxie sat down and instilled his immortal essence. A moment later, his aura shook, immortal killer move Burning Soul Bursting Luck was successfully activated. At once, Ying Wuxie's luck rose by many times, at the same time, he felt dizzy and nauseous. Burning Soul Bursting Luck was a killer move that expended the foundation of the soul to temporarily increase the GU Immortal's luck. Thus, when the killer move activated, not only did Ying Wuxia's luck rise sharply, his soul was also extremely weakened. But it was not a problem. Fang Yuan took out Guts GU. In the process of cultivation, Fang Yuan had been accumulating his storage of Guts GU to prepare for the worst. His vigilant act was very helpful to him. It was shown now when used on Ying Wuxia. Ying Wuxia rapidly recovered. He was no longer dizzy, he was just a little pale. Even though his soul was healthy now, his soul path Dao marks had reduced sharply. Burning Soul Bursting Luck permanently used up soul path Dao marks. And this killer move had requirements towards soul path Dao marks. To activate it, one had to use a certain number of soul path Dao marks. Because of this, out of Fang Yuan's side, only he and Ying Wuxia were able to use this killer move. The rest might have strong battle strength, but their soul foundation was weak. Experts had their field of expertise, not anyone could cultivate as widely as Fang Yuan. In fact, Fang Yuan could tackle so many paths because of the sovereign immortal body, and also because the dream realm raised his attainment level of many paths rapidly. After Ying Wuxia, it was Fang Yuan's turn. This killer move, Burning Soul Bursting Luck, used the soul path Immortal GU, Soul Howl. With Ying Wuxia's guidance, even though this was Fang Yuan's first use, after failing twice, he succeeded in using it. Rumble. Instantly, Fang Yuan witnessed a mirage. He could see the luck above his head surging and growing, soaring towards the heavens. He nodded and informed Sixth Hair to refine GU. Sixth Hair and Ying Wuxia had their luck connected. And before the Battle of Reverse Flow River, while Fang Yuan was chasing Ying Wuxia and the others, they had gone from Eastern Sea to Northern Plains. And in the Earth Trench in Northern Plains Zombie Alliance, Ying Wuxia was aided by Sixth Hair to escape, while Sixth Hair used Dark Flow Giant City to obstruct Fang Yuan. Ying Wuxia and Sixth Hair had their luck connected at this time. Naturally, Ying Wuxia still had Connect Luck Immortal GU. To delay Fang Yuan, Ying Wuxia tried all kinds of ways to strengthen Sixth Hair. Luck was one aspect. Of course, in the end, Fang Yuan's pursuit was stopped, and Sixth Hair did not die. He managed to return to Langya Blessed Land safely. Now, Fang Yuan wanted to use this connection to raise Sixth Hair's luck. Initially, when Ying Wuxia was in Earth Abyss, he tried to use this move to refine fixed immortal travel. Too bad Heavenly Court refined it first. But his efforts were not in vain. It helped Fang Yuan to refine change form Immortal GU. This information was obtained by Fang Yuan from Purple Mountain True Monarch. He thought of using it in this situation. After all, luck was the best method to help in GU refinement. There was evidence of this. In the past, it was because of Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's luck path assistance that Long Hair Ancestor could refine so many Immortal GU for him and create 88 True Yang building. Perceivable Dao Immortal GU. After using Burning Soul Bursting Luck, Fang Yuan used this GU to inspect the number of soul path Dao marks in his soul. The numbers had truly been shaved off. His soul foundation was nearly crippled. He was back to square one. Fang Yuan had cultivated his soul for a long time. When he acted as Chong Shan Yin and roamed Northern Plains, before joining the Imperial Court contest, he had already started. Using Luopo Valley and Danghun Mountain, Fang Yuan's current soul path cultivation was very efficient and fast. After a long period, his soul had accumulated a great number of soul path Dao marks. But today, after using Burning Soul Bursting Luck once, all of Fang Yuan's effort had been obliterated. Fang Yuan did not feel much of a pity or shame. He could always regain the Dao marks later. But if he lost his life now, then it would all be over. If other GU immortals like Bai Ningbing tried to use this move, how could they have enough soul path Dao marks for the expenditure? Fang Yuan suddenly thought of something, asking Ying Wuxia, with your soul path foundation, how many times can you use it? Ying Wuxia replied, I can use it 2 more times, but sect leader, you have Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance. You should know that the same person cannot use Burning Soul Bursting Luck repeatedly to raise its effect. It is useless even if I try it again. Fang Yuan nodded. I am just asking. He had a feeling of admiration towards Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. Ying Wuxia was a split soul of Spectral Soul, but he actually had the soul foundation to use Burning Soul Bursting Luck 4 times. Spectral Soul was indeed the legendary person who created Soul Path and cultivated to rank 9. Burning Soul Bursting Luck has been activated. This is all we can do. Let's go. Fang Yuan settled his thoughts and stood up. Soon, he stored away the Immortal GU formation and the other GU Immortals into his Immortal Aperture before setting off again. He had to continue moving. Not only did Heavenly Court know his location and would send GU Immortals at him, even Heaven's will was plotting. If Fang Yuan and the rest stayed at a place for long, they would meet with many problems. In White Heaven, the upper extreme heavenly eagle shook off its blood and flew up. Behind it, an immortal GU house carrying 2 Heavenly Court GU Immortals chased relentlessly. This upper extreme heavenly eagle is reaching its limit. That's right, it was really good at enduring and flying. Alright, let's end it, this move will let you rest. The immortal GU house rapidly grew in aura as a golden beam of light shot out. The golden light was extremely fast, landing on the upper extreme heavenly eagle. The upper extreme heavenly eagle suffered a huge blow, it quickly flapped its wings and tried to escape. But the golden beam of light was long and thin, it was like a shadow, homing in on the upper extreme heavenly eagle. The upper extreme heavenly eagle's injuries got more severe, its body was covered in a layer of golden light, making its movement even slower. But at the next moment, a change occurred. A white cloud formed in the path of the falling upper extreme heavenly eagle. The upper extreme heavenly eagle fell into the cloud and vanished. Oh no, this is a black-white overturning cloud. Quickly stop the killer move, don't destroy this cloud. The 2 Heavenly Court GU Immortals shouted in shock, but it was too late, everything had happened too quickly. The upper extreme heavenly eagle vanished in the cloud, while the golden beam of light landed on the white cloud, dyeing it golden. The golden cloud became extremely heavy and fell downwards. At this time, the golden beam of light vanished as the 2 Heavenly Court GU Immortals stopped the killer move. But now, their smug appearance was gone, replaced by a dumbfounded look. How could this happen? Wasn't it too coincidental? The black-white overturning cloud can connect between Black Heaven and White Heaven, anything that enters will be able to move between the 2 heavens. We were concerned about this, so we had already destroyed all of the clouds that could potentially be black-white overturning clouds already. To think that a new one would appear and the upper extreme heavenly eagle had to crash into it. This damned luck. The 2 Heavenly Court GU Immortals were going frantic, they wanted to spit blood, after so much hard work, and expending a great deal of immortal essence, right before success, this happened. Chase. The upper extreme heavenly eagle still has our investigative killer move. We will return through the heavenly wind chi wall and go back to Black Heaven. That's right, this is our first mission after joining Heavenly Court, how can we fail? Even if we have to chase it to the ends of the world, we will capture this upper extreme heavenly eagle. Chapter 1406. Self-Love Refined. The upper extreme heavenly eagle actually escaped, how could this happen? In Heavenly Court, Fairy Ziwei used star constellation chessboard to observe White Heaven's situation. She frowned as a bright light flashed in her eyes. Luck path. A guess appeared in her mind. She thought of 88 Truyong building, the culprit that destroyed it was Fang Yuan, what was the possibility that Fang Yuan obtained Giant Sun's true inheritance? Unfortunately, my investigative killer move can only locate Fang Yuan and the others, it cannot show their current situation. Fairy Ziwei sighed and used star constellation chessboard again. At the next moment, the scene of the River of Time appeared in star constellation chessboard again. Feng Juzhe and Lord Huangxi had already flown to a nearby tributary of the River of Time. This tributary of the River of Time is not small, it is enough for you to leave. Lord Huangxi smiled, pointing forward, let me use my immortal killer move to send you out, don't resist. Feng Juzhe nodded, cupping his fists gracefully, I will trouble you. Lord Huangxi was about to speak when his expression changed. That tiger year beast is coming again. Feng Juzhe's expression also changed. No, Lord Huangxi's eyes looked ahead, in the river in front of them, there was a dense fog that emerged. Strange, why is there fog in the River of Time? Feng Juzhe frowned. Lord Huangxi was extremely excited, there was huge expectation in his eyes. This fog, don't tell me. At this moment, the two saw a faint silhouette in the fog. The figure was vague and concealed by the fog, it could not be seen clearly. Lord Huangxi's expression became even more heated, but Feng Juzhe was completely confused. Soon, the fog moved and exposed a corner of the huge silhouette. Feng Juzhe finally saw what it was. This looks like an island. That's right, this is a stone lotus island. Legend says that Red Lotus, true inheritance is inside. Lord Huangxi's tone was trembling. Even though Red Lotus Demon Venerable and Heavenly Court were enemies, he was the absolute peak of time path, nobody could match him. Lord Huangxi, who specialized in time path, felt an unparalleled allure towards Red Lotus, true inheritance. Stay here, I will return shortly. Lord Huangxi said that before flying out at a rapid speed. However, the fog seemed to respond. When Lord Huangshi got closer, the fog retreated. After a long time, Lord Huangshi did not manage to shorten the distance, it was lengthening instead. A moment later, the fog vanished, and the mysterious stone island went missing too. Lord Huangshi returned dejectedly, his expression was quite ugly. Even Fairy Ziwei, who was watching this in heavenly court, had a look of disappointment. But soon, she frowned. She fell into deep thoughts. Why did that stone lotus island appear? Was it because Fang Yuan destroyed a tributary of the River of Time? But Lord Huangshi and Feng Juzhe had already left that place already, and most importantly, how can someone enter the stone lotus island? Must they have the key? Spring-Autumn Cicada. Southern border, Wu clan headquarters. A super GU formation was created. Wu Yong stood in front of the GU formation, observing it, he nodded, showing a satisfied expression. Beside him, a Wu clan supreme elder said, Elder Wu Bei, we have troubled you. It is my job to work for the clan, this was no trouble at all. Elder Wu Bei said respectfully and humbly. Among Wu clan's GU immortals, he cultivated formation path. Not long ago, he even took over Fang Yuan's position to defend the super GU formation. After the Battle of Reverse Flow River, Fang Yuan returned from northern plains and plotted to get Wu Bei away from here so that he could return to the super GU formation. Elder Wu Bei actually managed to escape from danger because of this and did not join in the Battle of the Dream Realm. In this battle, Southern Border's Righteous Path GU immortals suffered huge losses, even the immortal GU used to create the super GU formation were taken by Heavenly Court. However, not long ago, even though Wu Yong failed to kill Fang Yuan, he managed to make a secret agreement with Heavenly Court. Wu Yong let go of Feng Juzhe, and Heavenly Court returned the taken immortal GU back to Wu Yong. Wu Yong returned to Southern Border's Righteous Path and returned all the immortal GU back to their owners. This act raised his reputation to the peak in Southern Border's Righteous Path. Southern Border's clans were all grateful to Wu Yong. Not only could he negotiate with Heavenly Court and succeed, he even returned every immortal GU without taking any for himself, they were all in admiration. Furthermore, Wu Yong exposed his rank 8 immortal GU house Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building, and after he showed his tremendous battle strength in the Battle of the Purple Blood River Formation, all of the Southern Border super forces were apprehensive against him. Thus, even though he did not kill Shadow Sect's remaining members, Wu clan's status had changed drastically. The clans that took over Wu clan's resource points earlier retreated back to their own territories and even offered some compensation in a roundabout manner. Chao clan was Wu clan's affiliate force, their territory, which was taken by Ba clan and Sha clan, was also returned on the basis of Wu clan's reputation. Wu Yong was not happy with such a result. After returning, he had been controlling the situation, negotiating with the super forces, getting them to hand over more benefits. Currently, both sides were still negotiating. Even though Wu clan was very forceful, the other super clans were not made of paper, they were adamant in defending their own interests. Wu clan's losses were indeed severe. All in all, they lost multiple GU immortals, and Fang Yuan even cheated them of 6 immortal GU and 100,000 immortal essence stones. But this matter could only be withheld by Wu clan, they could not openly seek Fang Yuan for trouble. Wu Yong wanted to compensate his losses from the other super forces, but he was not going to forget the demonic path scoundrel Fang Yuan. The super GU formation here was made based on Wu Yong's instructions. Not only did he put Elder Wu Bei in charge of everything, he even asked Kai clan's GU immortals for help. Alright, you can act now. A sharp light flashed in Wu Yong's eyes, he spoke to Wu Bei in a calm tone. Wu Bei's heart shook as he felt the anger and hatred underneath Wu Yong's calm expression. To think that Wu Yihai was an imposter all along. HMPH, he was too daring, he actually deceived Wu clan. We will show you now, there are some people in this world that you cannot offend. Wu Bei snorted coldly as he used his GU formation. This immortal formation used an earth vein as the foundation, and Fang Yuan's life tablet GU and soul lantern GU, as well as more than 10 immortal GU and an uncountable number of mortal GU to create. Its effect was to find trouble with Fang Yuan. Every time it was activated, it would create a formless force that would cross Southern Border and be inflicted on Fang Yuan. This immortal formation was very powerful, it far surpassed the killer move that Wu Yong used against Fang Yuan earlier. At the same time, it was lasting. This was the advantage of a GU formation. Once the GU formation was created, the activation and deactivation process was very easily. It was not like a killer move, every use would have a complex process and every step would need to be accurate. Otherwise, the activation would fail and there might be a backlash on the user. GU formations were different. After they were created, unless they were destroyed, there would be no threat of backlash. Let's try half of the power. Wu Yong added. Wu Bei nodded. Wu Yong was not doing this because he was magnanimous, it was so that he could conveniently negotiate with Fang Yuan. Don't forget that Wu clan's immortal GU were still in Fang Yuan's hands. Wu Yong naturally wanted them back. Even if Fang Yuan ran to Western Desert, Wu Yong did not give up on that idea. Fang Yuan's reverse flow protection seal is powerful, and can deflect all attacks, but too bad. This move uses too much mental energy, and the immortal essence expenditure is high. How can Fang Yuan keep it active at all times? With this GU formation, we can attack any time we want, and stop it at any moment. We hold the initiative. Let him suffer first before we negotiate. Wu Yong was already preparing his tactics. The GU formation activated, and was about to unleash its power when suddenly, the ground started to shake. Rumble. The entirety of Wuyi Mountain was shaking. What is going on? Why is there an earthquake? Which GU immortal is undergoing tribulation? This is not a tribulation, the earth vein is shaking, the entirety of southern border is implicated, this is far more severe than just an earthquake. Oh no, Elder Wu Bei. The surrounding Wu clan GU immortals gasped as they realized something. Boom, the immortal formation exploded as Wu Bei coughed out blood. After an anguished scream, he fell to the ground, unconscious. Northern Plains, Langya blessed land. Sixth hair was covered in sweat, he was completely drenched, his hair was stuck together, it was a sad sight. The final step, Sixth hair's eyes were red, filled with blood. Langya land spirit heard this and handed the processed immortal material over to Sixth hair. Even though he was the first supreme elder, since Fang Yuan made the request, and the rules were set by Langya land spirit himself, he had to follow it. Thus, he did not mind helping Sixth hair, he at most had some grievances against Fang Yuan. Ding, a long crisp sound came from the ice fire. Like the sound of clashing silver coins. Soon, the sound stopped as the blazing ice fire extinguished, only the round profound ice was left. Sixth hair breathed roughly as he muttered, "Come out, rank 7 immortal GU self-love." Crack crack, cracks appeared on the profound ice before it broke apart, as an immortal GU flew out. Rank 7 immortal GU self-love was finally refined. Chapter 1407, Leaving Wu Clan completely. Rank 7 immortal GU self-love. Fang Yuan held this immortal GU, he felt joy in his heart. It was not a waste that he expended all of his soul foundation, he obtained some useful results. Luck path, after all, had helped a GU immortal to reach rank 9. I have dog shit luck immortal GU, and have connected my luck to Yi Fan, Hong Yi, and Han Li, these 3 lucky people. Furthermore, after the 2 uses of burning soul bursting luck, my luck must have reached an unprecedentedly high level. It is not strange that self-love immortal GU was successfully refined. This self-love immortal GU was refined by Sixth hair and sent to Fang Yuan using Treasure Yellow Heaven. Treasure Yellow Heaven had a small commotion, but it was not as impactful as before. Because situations of using Treasure Yellow Heaven to transport immortal GU had happened many times already, it was no longer as rare. Especially recently, Wu Yong used Treasure Yellow Heaven to send a batch of GU worms, and 1000 Transformations Ancestor also sold year beasts and created an even bigger commotion that was still ongoing. This is self-love immortal GU? Bai Ningbing asked. Before Fang Yuan replied, Ying Wuxie said, of course. This immortal GU came at a perfect timing. With this immortal GU, we can use immortal killer move self-cleansing, we will not be afraid of any investigative killer move. Ha 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 ha. Ying Wuxie said as he laughed loudly with his hands at his waist. He was currently using Fairy Kui Bo's body, his chest was huge and he had a beautiful face, but he laughed with his mouth wide opened like a foolish hot-blooded teenager, it was quite amusing. Bai Ningbing shook her head as she watched, the lingering bit of pity she felt towards Ying Wuxie vanished without a trace. That's right, this immortal GU, self-love, is the core of immortal killer move self-cleansing. This move can cleanse Dao marks on the GU immortal's body, getting rid of the unfavorable ones and only keeping the beneficial ones. Be it the investigative killer move or alliance agreements, as long as they are harmful to us, they can be cleansed. Fang Yuan explained. He Lu Lan's eyes shined brightly, she thought. This means that the killer move formed from this immortal GU can break the restraints of Shadow Sect's alliance agreement on me. She saw some hope. She did not join Shadow Sect willingly, she wanted to leave, but there was no way. Self-love immortal GU had a unique shape. It was not like a worm, but a horn-shaped rice dumpling, there was a layer of bamboo leaves around it, and there were even gray-white threads on it. 1. But this was not true. If one observed carefully, they would see that the surface of the bamboo leaves was completely one with the inside. The gray-white threads were the markings of self-love Immortal Gu. They flickered and changed locations every few breaths of time. He Lulan memorized the appearance of self-love Immortal Gu deeply in her mind. Fang Yuan touched the surface of self-love Immortal Gu as he said, "Let's move first before using this self-love Immortal Gu to get rid of the investigative killer move." The immortals chose a direction randomly and moved for 100,000 li, arriving at the back of a huge sand dune. Fang Yuan started to use his killer move, while Ying Wuxie and Gang went around the place to guard him. First, he activated self-love Immortal Gu. This rank 7 Immortal Gu was inside the sovereign immortal aperture, floating in the air and emitting a sweet smell without any lights shining. Allured by the scent, large numbers of mortal Gu were activated, moving around self-love Immortal Gu as they formed into a river of Gu worms. This was the first step of using self-cleansing. Evidently, self-love Immortal Gu was needed to make the first step. Fang Yuan was stuck here previously, undoubtedly, even with a vast number of immortal killer moves, they were useless without the core Immortal Gu. Next, Fang Yuan started to use some crucial supplementary Gu worms. These Gu worms were all Immortal Gu. Wisdom Path Immortal Gu obtained from Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance. Most of them were rank 7. This immortal killer move's difficulty was that the addition of every Wisdom Path Immortal Gu would cause a disturbance to the original Gu worm river. Only skilled technique and extraordinary control could allow this step to be done. A Wisdom Path rank 6 Immortal Gu was carefully placed in. The river of Gu worms shook intensely, but it returned to normal soon. Fang Yuan's heart sank. This was just a rank 6 Immortal Gu, but was so difficult already. If he placed a rank 7 Immortal Gu, the result would be worse. But the second Immortal Gu was a rank 7 Immortal Gu. Fang Yuan waited for a while. After savoring that precious experience from earlier, he placed the second Immortal Gu in. Progressing slowly like this, when he got to the third Immortal Gu, Fang Yuan failed. The entire Gu worm river broke apart as Fang Yuan spat out blood from his mouth. Man as before, once this Immortal Gu was used, his injuries were healed. But the killer move's activation failed, they had to leave now. Fang Yuan and the rest packed their things and left the place. They could not remain at one place for too long, they needed to keep moving so that Heavenly Court and Heavens will could not deal with them easily. Along the way, Fang Yuan thought about and collated his experiences. One could say that the entire group was relying on his killer move. This was the key to solving their problem, even though this killer move had no offensive power. After the activation failed, they would leave. Along the way, he would learn from his mistakes. Until the fourth time, Fang Yuan finally succeeded in activating rank 7 Immortal Killer Move Self-Cleansing. It was not easy. A watery and gentle light flowed down from Fang Yuan's head, into his body and mind. Initially, the water was shiny and crystal clear, but when it got to Fang Yuan's feet, it became extremely murky. How was it? After the killer move was used, Ying Wuxie asked. The other immortals looked over with concern. Fang Yuan used perceivable Dao Immortal Gu to inspect himself. But the result was not satisfactory. We have a problem. His expression turned grim. Southern border. The Super Gu formation was dealt with. Supreme Elder Wu Bei, who had fainted, was also treated. Wu Yong looked at the huge pit with a dark expression. Why did the earth vein shake here all of a sudden? This Super Gu formation used the earth vein as the foundation, and it had a once in 10,000 years tremor. To think it would happen at this moment. Thankfully, I salvaged Fang Yuan's life tablet Gu and soul lantern Gu at the crucial moment, but we lost a rank 6 Immortal Gu in the process. Wu Yong had a deep gaze. After this matter, his hatred towards Fang Yuan intensified. Lord Wu Yong, something is wrong. At this moment, Wu Fa reported. Not only was there a tremor here, Tai clan, Yi clan, Chai clan, Kai clan, and the rest have all faced an earthquake. Wu Yong's eyebrows rose. You mean this earth vein tremor involved the whole of southern border? That is likely the case. Wu Fa frowned deeply. The earth vein was very important. An earthquake of such magnitude was unprecedented in southern border. This change was truly not normal. Wu Yong turned his gaze towards his hand. The two mortal Gu he was holding cracked and broke apart. They were completely destroyed. Wu Yong was shocked. Fang Yuan's life tablet Gu and soul lantern Gu were destroyed. Did he use some method against it? Chapter 1408. An extinguishable star target. On this day, in southern border, regardless of mortal or immortal, they went into panic and shock. The earth vein was shaking, affecting the entirety of southern border. Important areas were devastated, mountains collapsed as rivers were blocked, pits were buried. The power of heaven and earth was displayed openly with unparalleled might at this moment. Countless unfortunate mortals died in this vast calamity. The super forces were all collating their losses. Many mortal forces were exterminated. Even for super forces, they lost quite a few resource points. They had suffered great setbacks. This sudden earth vein earthquake made the tense southern border political situation go silent. The super forces placed their conflicts aside as they started to investigate the cause of the earth vein commotion together. Such an earthquake had not happened in the last 10,000, or 100,000 years, or even during the olden antiquity era or remote antiquity era. Throughout history, this was the first time. Southern borders GU immortal world, be it righteous path, demonic path, or lone immortals, they were all nervous and curious about the cause of this huge commotion in the earth vein. The indication of the Great Era has appeared. Fang Yuan, who was far away in western desert, collected information about the commotion in southern border as he sighed deeply. At this moment, he had moved away again. To another location. When night faded away, light started to shine from the horizon. It was dawn. Soon, the sun rose up and restored the world to a bright state, shining down on the vast desert. It was a new day. Fang Yuan wore his white robe. He had a deep gaze as he looked at the rising sun with a deep mood. Compared to the rising sun, his future was not this smooth and hopeful. In the past, he was kept in the dark, but after getting Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance, he learned of the relationship between the Great Era and Spectral Soul, as well as Shadow Sect. The Great Era originally should have approached at this time. But in the 500 years of his previous life, Spectral Soul succeeded in defying fate. He resisted Heavenly Court and Heaven's will, using his supreme methods to forcefully stall the Great Era by 500 years. Heaven's will was forced into desperation by Spectral Soul. It had to take a big risk and use Fang Yuan as a tool to send him back to the past, using Spring-Autumn Cicada and attempting to thwart Shadow Sect's plans. Thus, the entire world went back to its original path. Without Shadow Sect and Spectral Soul, the Great Era started to unveil itself. The tremor of the earth vein was the signal for the start of this Great Era. The Great Era is coming, the 5 regional walls are going to vanish. But before that, the earth veins of the 5 regions, southern border, northern plains, central continent, western desert, eastern sea, they will unify and combine into one. For the following period, earth vein tremors will continue to happen. Not just in southern border, the other 4 regions will also face it. The reason why southern border was the first to have these earth vein tremors is because southern border has the most earth path Dao marks in all 5 regions. Therefore, southern border's earth vein is also the deepest among the 5 regions. Precisely so, when the Great Era descends and the world changes, it will be the first one affected. Fang Yuan had a pondering gaze. The Great Era descended like this, it greatly interrupted his former cultivation plan. In his original plan, he had a lot of time. Fang Yuan would continue to cultivate and use the Dream Realm to raise his attainment levels and accumulate wealth, while rising up in cultivation level. When the 5 regions chaotic war starts during the Great Era, he would have rank 8 cultivation level and deep foundations and wealth. Even if he did not reach Great Grandmaster in every path, he would be close. That way, he would gain the most benefits during the 5 regions chaotic war. But that was not possible now. The Great Era was coming too quickly. Fang Yuan's plans were completely disrupted. Not just that, he was currently chased by Heavenly Court and was plotted against by Heaven's will. He had to run every minute and stay alert. A strong enemy might appear at any time to kill him. This is a huge change. Currently, only I, Heavenly Court, Shadow Sect, and a few other forces know the truth behind the earth vein tremors. However, the other GU immortals are not stupid. After some investigation, they will realize this sooner or later. After a while, this will turn into a consensus and every GU immortal would understand, an unprecedented change is occurring in the world. Sigh, my rebirth advantage is going to dwindle again. If not for the Dream Realm battle, I would still have my identity as Wu Yihai. Southern borders earth vein tremors will cause large amounts of earth trenches, pits, and countless rare beasts and plants to appear. This is a great harvest, all forces and GU immortals will compete for them. Such things will occur often in the 5 regions, but southern border will be the most affected, because southern border's earth vein has the biggest foundation, it has the most valuable treasures. The worst is Eastern Sea, because these are earth vein tremors. Eastern Sea would have the least number of fortuitous encounters from them. Fang Yuan recalled, Eastern Sea has always had the most resources among the 5 regions. Because of this, GU immortals from the other regions took risks to go there and explore it, trying to find ways to advance their cultivation. But Eastern Sea had the least gains from the earth vein tremors. There was a theory in the 500 years of Fang Yuan's previous life. This fortuitous encounter of countless treasures was like the gift of heaven and earth, to purposely balance the 5 regions. If Fang Yuan was still using Wu Yihai's identity now, he would be able to gain great benefits. With his memories, he remembered many places where precious resources emerged, and even wild immortal GU. Unfortunately, because his identity was exposed, these great fortuitous encounters were no longer available to him. Fang Yuan felt that it was a pity, but he did not know that this earth vein tremor helped him instead. Because of the earth vein tremor, Wu clan's immortal formation was destroyed. Wu Yong's plan failed and Fang Yuan dodged a crisis. He did not fall to Wu clan's scheme. The earth vein tremors were bound to happen eventually, but it had to happen at that precise moment. That was because of Fang Yuan's burning soul-bursting luck. Thankfully, I obtained rank 7 immortal GU self-love. After using immortal killer move self-cleansing successfully, I got rid of all the detrimental Dao marks on me, including Wu clan's alliance agreement. This way, Fang Yuan left Wu clan entirely. They were no longer connected. By now, my life tablet GU and soul lantern GU must have shattered. Wu Yong cannot use this to deal with me anymore. Even though his worries were lifted, Fang Yuan also saw a weakness of self-cleansing. Self-cleansing was extremely unique. It could cleanse all of the Dao marks that were unfavorable to the GU immortal, but the choice was not according to Fang Yuan's intentions. For example, Fang Yuan had gotten rid of the alliance agreement with Wu clan completely, but his alliance agreement Dao marks with other forces like Chudu, Langya Land Spirit, the variant humans, and Crazed Demon Cave, were unaffected. This was because these alliance agreement Dao marks were not harmful to Fang Yuan. Self-cleansing would not get rid of them. However, the moment Fang Yuan betrays them, these alliance agreement Dao marks would activate and punish Fang Yuan. It would be too late for him to use self-cleansing on them. And most important was Fairy Ziwei's investigative killer move. These Dao marks were very detrimental to Fang Yuan. Self-cleansing naturally got rid of them. But the shocking thing was, even though the killer move was effective and removed these Dao marks, they soon started to recover and grow again. At this speed, in just 6 hours, the Dao marks of Heavenly Court's investigative killer move would completely be restored. Self-cleansing is the strongest method in this aspect that Purple Mountain True Monarch had. Even though it is effective on me, the enemy this time is too powerful. The investigative killer move on me is likely created by Fairy Ziwei using Star Constellation chessboard. Even though Fang Yuan was guessing, he was quite sure of it. Because he had seen such self-producing Dao marks before. It was his original body, the rank 6 strength path 8 armed heavenly immortal zombie body. Currently, in this body, the second aperture had completely broken down, while the first rank 5 aperture still had Spring Autumn Cicada sealed inside. Spring Autumn Cicada could not be used, because Heaven's Will was inside. And in the body, Ying Wu Xie used his soul path method to set a vicious trap. Once Fang Yuan sends souls inside, the trap would activate and kill it, before nourishing itself and producing more soul path Dao marks, becoming even harder to deal with. This was the first time Fang Yuan saw self-regenerating Dao marks. Even though it was Ying Wu Xie's killer move, Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable had something similar. After getting Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance, Fang Yuan learned that only rank 9 Venerables could create killer moves with regenerating Dao marks. Thus, Fang Yuan guessed that Fairy Ziwei used Star Constellation chessboard to activate the investigative killer move. Because Star Constellation chessboard belonged to Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. Thanks to Fang Yuan's current identity, he had a deeper understanding of Heavenly Court than before. Fang Yuan recalled, it was true, the other Immortal Venerables or Demon Venerables had such methods. Dao marks replenished themselves without expending immortal essence. For example, Giant Sun Immortal Venerables rank 8 Immortal GU fortune rivaling Heaven. After Ma Hongyun used it, the lucky effect had lasted the entire time until he died. The true essence of his luck were luck path Dao marks. Ma Hongyun had luck path Dao marks on his body. He absorbed the luck of those around him, causing his fortune to rise. In the entire process, he did not have to expend any immortal essence or primeval essence. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable also had such killer moves. Divine Concealment and Ghostly Concealment. These two defensive killer moves created a thin cloak of Dao marks on the soul. The former allowed the user to be free from Heaven's will and deductions, while the latter made one unnoticeable to souls. This killer move's effect had always lasted without using any immortal essence. At the same time, if there was any damage, the Dao Mark cloak would regenerate itself. It is publicly recognized that every rank 9 Venerable's main path is at Supreme Grand Master. According to the cultivation experience from Purple Mountain True Monarch, Grand Master attainment level is imitation of other paths, Great Grand Master is the use of natural Dao marks, while Supreme Grand Master is the regeneration of Dao marks and even self-sustenance, breaking free from the restriction of immortal essence. The classification was clear now. Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance gave Fang Yuan a clear recognition of all the GU immortal attainment levels. Now, with his own experiences, Fang Yuan gained a lot of insight. The 8-arm heavenly zombie body's soul path trap could be resolved now. But the investigative Dao marks on the sovereign immortal body were hard to deal with. Using self-cleansing, I can get rid of a number of investigative Dao marks, but the more I reduce them, the faster they regenerate. Using self-cleansing killer move once will get rid of 10% of these Dao marks. But in half a day, they will completely grow back. This means that if I want to get rid of the investigative killer move, I will need to sustain self-cleansing all the time, for about half a month without any pauses in the middle. Fang Yuan estimated based on all the information that he had. It was problematic, the investigative killer move was far more troublesome than Fang Yuan had expected. And the most important thing was, this was unrealistic. Self-cleansing was not a sustained killer move, it had to be used each time. Each time he used it, there was a certain duration that it lasted. Even though he had self-love immortal GU and successfully used self-cleansing, Fang Yuan did not get rid of the harmful Dao marks completely. He met with another problem. What should he do? If you are given enough time to prepare, you might be able to resolve it. But too bad, you have no chance now. In Heavenly Court, Fairy Ziwei smiled. She was very confident in the investigative killer move used on Fang Yuan and the rest. Because this was Star Constellation Chessboard's method, and also the killer move created personally by Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, an extinguishable star target. Compared to other investigative killer moves, an extinguishable star target could only locate the position of its target. This effect alone was inferior to the method that Fairy Ziwei used on Feng Juzhe. The latter allowed Star Constellation Chessboard to display the scenes of the target's situation, one could easily understand what was going on. But an extinguishable star target's greatest effect was that it could regenerate endlessly, normal methods could not get rid of it properly. One could say that as long as this killer move still lasted, Fang Yuan would be a pawn on Fairy Ziwei's board, he could not escape her grasp. To eliminate him was only a matter of time. Against Fang Yuan and the others, Fairy Ziwei had the complete advantage, she was unshakable in this situation. As long as Fang Yuan had no time or freedom to develop, as time dragged on, Fairy Ziwei and Heavenly Court's advantage would get bigger and bigger. One could say, Fairy Ziwei was in an invincible position. Chapter 1409, Lu Wei Yin. Compared to fate, luck cannot last. Even though there were some mishaps, so what? Fairy Ziwei smiled gracefully and elegantly. The star constellation chessboard in her hands displayed the figures of the 2 Heavenly Court GU Immortals. The Immortal GU house was flying. The 2 Heavenly Court GU Immortals had grim expressions, conversing with each other. The upper extreme Heavenly Eagle used the black-white overturning cloud to escape to Black Heaven. But according to the current time, it is already daytime in the 5 regions, we are in White Heaven now, so Black Heaven is above us. Therefore, we need to fly upwards past the Heavenly Wind Chi Wall to enter Black Heaven. That's right, we have already used investigative methods on the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle. As long as we get into Black Heaven, we will be able to sense it, there is no problem. If we meet the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle again, we cannot repeat the same mistake, we will to try hard and prevent it from escaping again. The 2 Heavenly Court GU Immortals were deeply confident, they had recovered from the setback earlier. Their confidence came from their great strength. With such strength, even if the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle had a few lucky breaks, so what? Could it rely on luck every time? As long as it failed once, Heavenly Court's GU Immortals would win, the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle would be captured with no way of escaping. Star Constellation Chessboard shook lightly, the scene changed as Feng Juzhe was shown. At this moment, Feng Juzhe had already left the River of Time, he was in Western Desert. But this time, because he used a different tributary of the River of Time, even though he was in Western Desert, he could not return using the same way. Fairy Ziwei gave him advice, Feng Juzhe was currently very far away from Fang Yuan. Feng Juzhe is a Dao guardian. His luck is firm like an unmoving mountain, only people with such intense luck can counter a person like Fang Yuan. If I send other heavenly court GU immortals over, it would be a mess. Fang Yuan would suppress their luck and he would benefit from the situation instead. Fang Yuan's upper extreme heavenly eagle was a clear example. It could escape from 2 heavenly court GU immortals, not to mention Fang Yuan himself. I will let Feng Juzhe chase after Fang Yuan and force him to find Red Lotus, true inheritance. Even if he cannot find it, he will continue to expose his trump cards. By the time he expends them, I will go after him personally. Thinking of this, killing intent shined in Fairy Ziwei's eyes. It was not that she did not think highly of Fang Yuan, instead, she placed a lot of emphasis on him. To kill this complete otherworldly demon, Fairy Ziwei had to act personally to feel assured. But now was not the time. Firstly, Fang Yuan still had hidden trump cards, he was not in a desperate situation. Secondly, Heavenly Court needed to be defended because Duke Long was deep in Heavenly Court trying to suppress Spectral Soul's main body. Fairy Ziwei needed to oversee the entirety of Central Continent and send out orders to control the situation. Thirdly, the Great Era was coming, southern border was already having earth vein tremors, Central Continent's location was too disadvantageous, they had to make ample preparations. Even though Fang Yuan obtained self-love immortal GU, he did not leave Fairy Ziwei's control. Even though the upper extreme heavenly eagle escaped, it was still being pursued, it was not out of danger. Fairy Ziwei was more concerned about the Stone Lotus Island in the River of Time rather than these 2. Why did Red Lotus, true inheritance suddenly appear and disappear again? Fairy Ziwei frowned, she did not understand. With Star Constellation Chessboard, she was one of the 3 strongest Wisdom Path Great experts in the current world. But against the most mysterious Red Lotus demon Venerable in human history, Fairy Ziwei could feel her own inability and weakness. Oh Red Lotus, Fairy Ziwei sighed. She knew that among the demon venerables, this Red Lotus demon venerable had the deepest connection to Heavenly Court. In fact, he was once thought to be the future Red Lotus immortal venerable and to become in charge of Heavenly Court. Black Heaven. The yellow-green grass looked like a giant carpet, growing at a part of Black Heaven. Heaven-attached fungi. This was a rank 6 immortal material that only grew in the immemorial 9 heavens. It grew in very specific locations. They had to grow alone without any other Tao marks around them, other life forms, or even any meteorites. But thankfully, the immemorial 9 heavens was huge, even though there were lots of ancient desolate and immemorial desolate life forms around, there was enough room for the heaven-attached fungi to grow. However, there were 2 people on this heaven-attached fungi now. Chirp chirp, sounds of anxious bird chirping could be heard. A GU master with the appearance of a young man raised his right hand with difficulty, there was a layer of rainbow aurora light covering his forearm and right hand. This light was very active, it seemed to want to escape from the young man, but it could not. The young man was gritting his teeth, holding on desperately with sweating covering his forehead. Go, Aurora Bird. The young GU master was at his limit, he knew he had to take a risk, he shouted as he pushed forward with his arm. Chirp chirp chirp. At the next moment, the aurora light and chirping became even louder and sharper. Next, the rainbow aurora light jumped out of the young GU master's arm, jumping into the sky and turning into a bird. The bird wings flapped as the rainbow aurora light shot out at an incredible speed. Boom! With a loud sound, the rainbow aurora bird landed on the heaven-attached fungi nearby and destroyed all of the fungi. After the aurora light faded, there was a tiny pit in the heaven-attached fungi. The young GU master saw this and was surprised and joyous. He was happy that his hard work after so much training in dangerous situations had paid off, he succeeded in this killer move. He was surprised that this killer move was so powerful, just like what his master said. Master, I succeeded. The young GU master went to another person and greeted, saying excitedly. Not bad. His master commented plainly. The young GU master saw his master's expression and the excitement in his heart calmed down. His expression became normal as he paid his respects, saying plainly, I had lost my composure. No worries. The young GU master's master waved as he walked away slowly. A few steps later, he stopped as he looked up at the sky. He wore a gray hemp garment, it was very simple and plain, but his muscular body could not be concealed. He wore a conical hat, one that was large and wide, it covered his face under the shadow, concealing his appearance. Even though he was the young GU master's master, his appearance had never been seen. The truth was, only now when he looked at the sky, the young GU master could see his appearance. But he only saw his chin. His chin was wide and thick, it gave people the feeling of steadiness and unwavering determination. Master, Thank you for your guidance. If I cultivated alone, how could I have reached such a level? The young Gu master said. His master was silent for a while before speaking slowly. Yi Fan, you are incredibly talented and have great insight. This killer move was created by you using the transformation path and light path understanding that you have. I was only guiding you along. Even though you succeeded in this move, you need to practice it more. Beware of your safety. I cannot stay by you. Master, we are going to be separated. The young Gu master asked anxiously in shock. He was Yi Fan of Southern Border. He admired Shang Xinxi, and when she became the clan leader, he stood up and helped her resolve many problems of the mortal Shang clan. But there is always someone better than you. Yi Fan met by Ningbing and suffered a terrible loss. He even went through an experience of being at the brink of life and death. He survived, but was extremely shocked. This unforgettable experience made him contemplative, pondering about life and about himself. Through an unexpected surprise, he met his current master and became master and disciple. To think that his master was a Gu Immortal. To nurture this disciple with great talent, he brought Yi Fan to Black Heaven to train him. Even though they spent a short time together, Yi Fan admired this mysterious master deeply. Affinity was needed between people. Some people could live together for a lifetime and still be strangers. Some people could be together for a short while and easily become soulmates. Even though Yi Fan did not see his master's appearance, he could feel the sincerity and kindness from his master. He had complete confidence in his master. He did not suspect that his master had any ulterior motives. Affinity comes and goes. We do not have much of a connection to begin with. After using it up today, our relationship will end tomorrow. We might as well use it slowly and await the future. Yi Fan, do you know why I brought you here? His master said. Yi Fan blinked. Master, didn't you say that Black Heaven restricts my light path, so that it is safe to cultivate here even though it is hard? This is just one of the reasons. The second reason is that I deduced that you have some karma here. His master said in a low tone. Karma. Yi Fan showed a perplexed gaze. In this world, every cause has an effect and every effect has a cause. Look, your karma has arrived. Saying this, the mysterious Gu Immortal pointed at the sky. Yi Fan looked over and gasped. Over there, an upper extreme heavenly eagle flew towards the heaven-attached fungi here. What a strong divine eagle. Ah, it is injured. It was getting closer as Yi Fan could see upper extreme heavenly eagle's heavy injuries. Even though Yi Fan met with a good teacher, he was still not a Gu Immortal himself. The truth was, even ordinary rank 6 Gu Immortals would not know about the immemorial desolate beast upper extreme heavenly eagle. The upper extreme heavenly eagle was currently not clear-headed, its wounds were healing and had not healed. Even though it shook off heavenly court's pursuers, Black Heaven and White Heaven were very dangerous, it was not safe anywhere. When it saw the heaven-attached fungi, it flew over, trying to get precious time to rest. But it did not manage to land on the heaven-attached fungi, it fainted a few thousand steps away. However, Yi Fan's master acted rapidly and grabbed this upper extreme heavenly eagle. His palm was open and using some unknown method, under Yi Fan's surprised gaze, this upper extreme heavenly eagle became smaller and smaller by some effect, landing in Yi Fan's master's palm like a baby chick. Yi Fan's mysterious master stretched out another hand to caress the upper extreme heavenly eagle. Suddenly, the upper extreme heavenly eagle's injuries vanished, it went into deep sleep in a relaxed state. Yi Fan, you are bound by the karma on you. This upper extreme heavenly eagle might be the key to resolving it in the future for you. Bring it by your side. When it wakes up, it will bring you out of Black Heaven and back to Southern Border. Master is leaving now. Saying this, the mysterious Gu Immortal in a conical hat and grey clothes flew away towards the sky. Master, stay safe. Yi Fan received the little bird upper extreme heavenly eagle and rapidly chased. He had tears in his eyes, he was quite upset. He chased until he got to the edge of the heaven-attached fungi. Seeing his master's shrinking figure, he shouted, Master, may I know your name? My name is Lu Wei Yin. His master's voice could be heard softly in his ears. Master Lu Wei Yin, Yi Fan muttered in a daze. Chapter 1410. Formation Path Immortal Gu, True Inheritance. Western Desert. Fang Yuan opened his eyes, he saw a jade-green forest. There was a blue lake, it was like a sapphire in a sea of yellow sand, it was extremely beautiful. This was a small oasis, there was a natural spirit spring here. Oases like this were usually the foundation of a mortal clan. If a Gu master stayed here and preserved the spirit spring, if it developed well, it could become a mid-size or even a large-size oasis. Humans chose environments that were suitable for living, and at the same time, they would modify the natural environment to suit their needs. This was the coexistence between people and nature in Western Desert. However, now, this newly formed oasis was going to be destroyed. Because Fang Yuan and the rest would destroy all the traces left behind when they left for a new location. Even though they were hit by Heavenly Court's killer move, they had to guard against enemies in Western Desert, especially when Heaven's will was plotting all the time. This deduction finally has some results. Fang Yuan let out a breath of air, feeling slightly happy. Ever since he saw the power of an extinguishable star target, he started to resolve this problem. Immortal killer move self-cleansing was good, it had to be used time and time again with fixed durations, but Fang Yuan could modify it to be a lasting move. Fang Yuan had the foundation for this. Because he was a Wisdom Path Grandmaster, and self-cleansing was a Wisdom Path killer move, he could modify it. And he had a crucial Immortal GU. It was because of this Immortal GU that Fang Yuan had great confidence. This Immortal GU was Perseverance. Rank 7 Perseverance Immortal GU's effect was to supplement other Immortal GU or killer moves in their duration. For example, when Fang Yuan became an Ancient Sword Dragon, his Sword Light Dragon breath had to be breathed out each time. But if he used Perseverance Immortal GU, he could use the Sword Light Dragon breath continuously, until his throat reached its limit. Perseverance Immortal GU was suited for the modification of self-cleansing. Recently, Fang Yuan had been moving around while deducing, he had finally gotten some results now. He succeeded in making Immortal GU Perseverance the second core of this self-cleansing killer move. This way, self-cleansing could be used for longer durations, it would get rid of Fang Yuan's unfavorable Dao marks continuously. But this would not be enough to clear all the Dao marks. Fang Yuan had a deep gaze, he did not relax. He knew that another tough problem was coming. Even if self-cleansing could be used continuously, Fang Yuan did not have the time to wait. He was currently being pursued, even though Heavenly Court's GU Immortals were nowhere to be seen, they might be tailing him already. At any time, it was possible for Fang Yuan and the rest to be pursued and sneak attacked. Using self-cleansing, it would take a month at least to get rid of Fang Yuan's inextinguishable star target Dao marks. In this month, he had to use the killer move non-stop. An extinguishable star target was hard to deal with, the more Dao marks removed, the faster they regenerated. Fang Yuan had done his best to reach this stage, he could not raise self-cleansing's effect anymore. According to the situation, I need to be on the run at all times, it is impossible for me to get a month's time. And even if I have a month, what about the others? They were also hit by an extinguishable star target. There was no chance of doing so. Fang Yuan's biggest worry was that Heavenly Court would come out and ruin everything when he was about to succeed. If that happened, he would have expended a lot of immortal essence without getting rid of an extinguishable star target. Next, if he fought the Heavenly Court GU Immortals or escaped, an extinguishable star target would regenerate, the Dao marks would grow and Fang Yuan's efforts would be in vain. And self-cleansing is an immortal killer move, using it would expend not only a lot of immortal essence, but to sustain it, I need to use up a lot of mental energy on it. I have not used this killer move much, I am not proficient with it. Including the times when I will fail, not only will I waste immortal essence and need to heal myself, even without Heavenly Court's interference, I will weaken greatly if this goes on. Escaping to Langya Blessed Land is impossible too. Not only I am under Heavenly Court's surveillance and would expose Langya Blessed Land's location, the journey is too long, there is too much danger in going there, there is not only Heavenly Court and Heaven's will, Northern Plains even has longevity heaven. Of course, there were difficulties and also solutions. Fang Yuan soon thought of a countermeasure for this. He had enough strength to execute this plan as well. That was to use formation path. He needed to modify the killer move, self-cleansing, into an immortal GU formation. This was not out of this world. As mentioned earlier, GU formations were in essence killer moves, but they were formation path killer moves. If Fang Yuan had a self-cleansing GU formation, it would be much easier. He would need to expend much less immortal essence and mental energy to sustain the GU formation compared to using killer moves. Furthermore, the killer move self-cleansing was effective on Fang Yuan alone, other GU immortals needed to learn the move to use it themselves later. But if it was an immortal GU formation, then Shadow Sect's GU immortals could enter the formation and get rid of the inextinguishable star target Dao marks on their bodies. Thus, not only do I need to modify the killer move and turn it into an immortal GU formation, I also need GU worms like Formation Plate GU, Formation Flag GU, or Formation Chart GU, and it would be great if they were immortal GU. Immortal level formation plate GU, Langya sect had 1. This immortal goose effect was to use all sorts of GU worms to set up a GU formation on its own. The GU immortal only needed to provide immortal essence for it, they did not need any formation path attainment. Formation flag GU was used to manage a GU formation that was already set up. When GU immortals use formation flag GU, they can choose a GU formation and directly keep it inside formation flag GU. Next, within their line of sight, the GU immortal can bring formation flag GU and teleport away. After finding a suitable location, they can activate formation flag GU to set up the GU formation again at a new location. As for formation chart GU, it was a type of consumable GU. Formation chart GU recorded the information of a GU formation. It has a similar effect to formation plate GU, but the chances of error were much smaller compared to formation plate GU. These 3 GU worms suited Fang Yuan greatly. Tremor Desert. This special desert would have intense tremors from time to time. Deep under Tremor Desert, an immortal GU formation was slowly activated. Han Li walked in with a nervous expression. He encouraged himself. This is the final test of the formation path true inheritance left by GU Immortal Zhen Yuanzi. Han Li, work hard. Chapter 14:11. Green Claw Ghost Winged Lion. This was a bronze hall. At the center of the hall, there was a metallic lamp hanging on a crane neck. The neck was long and curvy. At the tip of its beak, there was a flame that was the size of a peach. This flame shone over the entire hall. The flame was weak, the corners of the bronze hall were still covered in darkness. A thin young GU master was standing on a huge concrete tile of the palace. There was a huge pillar beside him. It was red and thick. To encircle it, 3 grown men would need to stretch their arms out. When the light shined, the pillar blocked a huge portion of it. The young GU master's body was half concealed in darkness and shadows. It was Han Li. Han Li was currently covered in sweat. He was uncertain in his heart. I was too overconfident. This senior Zhen Yuanzi might be a righteous path GU immortal, but someone like me has no qualifications to take his true inheritance. I could get to this point after exerting all my energy. Some of the steps were through pure luck. Han Li had gone through a lot. He was clear about the danger of this bronze hall. Thinking about it, he felt great lingering fear. Actually, righteous path inheritances were usually not dangerous. Demonic path was the one with vicious setups and schemes. Although Zhen Yuanzi's inheritance test had its dangers, they were nothing of concern for GU immortals. But for the GU master Han Li, it was too dangerous. Han Li was someone with great luck, and because his luck was connected to Fang Yuan, he had endless fortuitous encounters. He had rank 4 cultivation level now. Such cultivation speed, at this age without any GU immortals helping him, was really rare. Han Li stood on the spot. He did not take a step ahead. He tried to turn around and look at the path he had walked on. He wanted to retreat. This Zhen Yuanzi's GU immortal true inheritance was too high level for him. Even though it was alluring, Han Li had already woken up and faced reality. He thought for a while before moving his right leg towards the back. At the next moment, his field of vision changed. I went ahead instead. Han Li looked around, his expression turning pale. He found that the red pillar was far behind him. He had advanced by more than 10 steps ahead. He had become much closer to that metallic crane neck lamp now. As long as he can get there, Han Li would be able to inherit Zhen Yuanzi's true inheritance. But right now, Han Li had already decided on retreating. His advancement was just because of pure chance. He had accidentally done it. His true intention was to leave the place, but he actually went forward instead. It was obvious that if he wanted to advance and chose other directions to move, the result would be disastrous. Han Li as a lone cultivator had shallow foundations in formation path. He was nearly clueless. To put it nicely, he was an unschooled cultivator with just some cheap tricks. He could get here because of his intelligence, his calm decisions, and pure luck. Out of these elements, luck was the most prominent aspect. And this made Han Li increasingly less confident. Because luck was not dependable. If a logical person does things solely based on luck, that was just gambling. Sigh, I am betting my life now. It seems that moving back towards the right is safer. Han Li observed. At this point, he was clueless. He was moving based on feelings. So he moved back. Swoosh. His field of vision changed again. The result was shocking, because his advancement was even greater now. He was dozens of steps ahead. The metallic crane neck lamp that represented success was very close to him now. Han Li could barely touch it with his arms outstretched now. Of course, he was still a small distance from success. And this tiny distance meant everything. Han Li hesitated. Facing this situation, he was sure to waver. After all, success was right in front of him, there was just one step left. But is this really correct? Han Li fell into difficult contemplation. Time passed quickly, but in his perception, he felt like it was only one instant. The difficult decision made him sweat profusely. But in the end, his reason surpassed the greed in his heart. How can one blindly rely on chance in the road of cultivation? Han Li let out a breath of air, he relaxed his body, his entire mental state settled. He started to find the way to retreat. This bronze hall was just created by the formation space. It was like the palace that Fang Yuan lived in at the southern border Super Dream Realm GU formation. Han Li was currently at the center of the GU formation. However, the path of retreat was very obvious now. Even Han Li with little formation path foundation could tell. Han Li had a clear mind. Following this path of retreat, he went back and got further away from the metallic crane neck lamp. I hope my following journey is as simple and smooth as this. Han Li thought that when his field of vision changed suddenly. He was shocked to find out that he had directly appeared before the metallic crane neck lamp. What happened? Han Li could not understand. A will slowly woke up in the lamp. An old voice spoke in Han Li's head in a groggy tone, like it had just woken up. Not bad, Fated One, you were able to get past the formation and arrive before me, it shows that you are qualified to inherit the true inheritance. Han Li was extremely embarrassed. I actually wanted to leave. The voice became clearer and smoother. This was Zhen Yuanzi's intention when he made the formation. When the metallic crane neck lamp is extremely close to you, any decision of moving forward is wrong. Only a GU immortal with incredible wisdom and deep formation path attainment will understand this. The only way forward is backwards. Or perhaps those GU immortals who had low formation path attainment but knew when to retreat, they would have a chance of getting the true inheritance because of their wise choice. Han Li understood finally. This means that I am the second type. And, aren't you senior Zhen Yuanzi's will? Of course not, I am formation spirit immortal GU. I was created by senior Zhen Yuanzi, nobody knew about me. The voice continued. Han Li did not understand. Formation spirit. Don't you get it? Blessed lands have land spirits, grotto heavens have heavenly spirits, GU formations naturally can have formation spirits. Why are you a GU master? You are not a GU immortal. Suddenly, the formation spirit shouted. I am sorry, I really am here by chance. If I am not qualified to get the true inheritance, can I leave? Han Li smiled awkwardly. The formation spirit was confused. Unbelievable, you are not a GU immortal, how did you pass the middle steps? With just luck, how lucky must you be? Oh no. Oh no, Han Li thought that the formation spirit was going to praise his luck. The formation spirit said loudly, this is really bad. Zhen Yuanzi had planned to pick a GU immortal inheritor. You do not have immortal essence, you cannot suppress the immemorial desolate beast green claw ghost winged lion under the formation. You obtained the true inheritance, this GU formation is going to break apart, but you cannot subdue this green claw ghost winged lion, aren't you going to run? No, you can't possibly run away, right? We're finished, you're finished, to think that my new master who has just obtained the true inheritance is going to die like this. No, there must be a way. Han Li did not want to give up like this. There is no hope, the difference in strength is too great. Sigh, the formation spirit that had manifested from formation spirit GU was very pessimistic about this. Like what it said, the GU formation started to break apart, the entire bronze hall started to turn hollow. The lamp floated and landed on Han Li's shoulder. The true environment showed itself. This was a huge hole under the desert. Large amounts of sand started to fall. Without the immortal GU formation's support, this artificially created cave started to collapse. Han Li had nowhere to escape. Before him was a huge hill-sized green claw ghost-winged lion sprawling on the ground. It was sleeping now. If he was a GU immortal, he would be able to subdue it according to Zhen Yuanzi's arrangements. Even if he could not, he could make it sleep and prevent it from troubling the inheritor. This was actually part of Zhen Yuanzi's test too. The green claw ghost-winged lion was an immemorial desolate beast. If the inheritor was skilled enough, they would be able to control this green claw ghost-winged lion. But Han Li was not. Not just that, he might get eaten by it instead. Sand continued to fall, landing on the green claw ghost-winged lion and waking it up. Han Li attacked fiercely, but his mortal killer move landed on the green claw ghost-winged lion like a gust of harmless wind. The green claw ghost-winged lion leapt forward and opened its mouth, devouring Han Li entirely. Chapter 14:12. Dancer Hong Yun. A beautiful red cloud was flying in the sky. Green Ghost Desert is ahead. Dancer Hong Yun lay down on her red cloud as she shut her eyes in a relaxed manner. She had a curvy body and was wearing a red dancing dress with yellow threads, her belly was exposed as well as her arms and legs. There were golden jade bracelets on her wrists and ankles. On her fingers, there were many jeweled rings, blue, green, and red, enhancing one another's beauty. Her eyes had a deep gaze, her brows were thick and long, there was a faint green light in her eyes, even though they were half closed, she was still very alluring. A translucent red veil was covering half her face, her tall nose and red lips were covered by the veil, it made people have the urge to explore what was truly behind that veil. Dancer Hong Yun, she was a seductive rank 7 female GU Immortal. She was once a demoness that roamed Western Desert, but unfortunately she trifled with a righteous path rank 8 great expert. During the critical moment, 1000 transformations ancestor saved her. Using that opportunity, Dancer Hong Yun became one of 1000 transformations ancestor's concubines. But unfortunately, she was not his type. Even though she was very beautiful and sexy, her status was lower than Fairy Kui Bo in 1000 transformations ancestor's heart. Wild winds were blowing by her ears, the red cloud was soft like cotton but also very bouncy, it was very comfortable for Dancer Hong Yun to lie down on it. This was Dancer Hong Yun's signature method, a mortal killer move, dancing red cloud. Even though she did not normally have a good relationship with Fairy Kui Bo, they even competed very fiercely in secret. Fairy Kui Bo was in trouble now, Dancer Hong Yun had to go rescue her using her fastest method. She was unwilling, of course, but now, there was 1000 transformations ancestors' will with her. This will was here not only to help Dancer Hong Yun, but also to supervise her. As long as this will was around, Dancer Hong Yun would need to do everything to save Fairy Kui Bo. The red cloud traveled along the way, arriving in the sky above Green Ghost Desert. Soon, the weather changed. Dark clouds started appearing. Once she entered Green Ghost Desert, dark clouds joined together and became even thicker, covering the sky entirely. Ordinary deserts were hot and open. But in Green Ghost Desert, there was barely any sunlight, it was dark and gloomy. There were many trees in this desert. Ghost crying trees were one of the types that had the highest numbers. This ghost crying tree was very twisted in shape and full of natural holes inside. It had deep tree bark markings, resembling the faces of crying humans. Every time the wind blew on the ghost crying tree, it would shake slightly and emit a shrill scream, or terrifying cry. Even during the day, this place was cold and dark, soul beasts roamed freely. When it was night time, cold bone-chilling winds would blow as countless ghosts wandered. Dancer Hong Yun rode on her dancing red cloud as she moved past the dark clouds with a repressed feeling. She was no longer as relaxed as before, she sat cross-legged and opened her eyes, staying vigilant at all times. Green Ghost Desert was a famous place of danger in Western Desert. It was related to a demon Venerable in history. That was the famed spectral soul demon Venerable. Before spectral soul demon Venerable became a Venerable, he had fought with a super clan here, he murdered all of the GU Immortals in this Western Desert Woodpath clan overlord that were here. The aftermath of the battle turned area this into Green Ghost Desert. This place seemed to be filled with the hatred and anger of the losers, they were filled with unhappiness and grief towards their horrible fate. This was an ominous land. There were a vast number of soul beasts living here. Even immemorial soul beasts were not rare. After 100,000 years, there were many Western Desert GU Immortals who died here. Dancer Hong Yun had the guts to travel here, it was not because of her rank 7 cultivation level or battle strength, it was because she had 1000 transformations ancestors will in rank 8 Immortal GU. And her travel route was just a corner of Green Ghost Desert, she did not truly enter it deeply. Thus, she chose to advance like this. The cloud continued flying ahead, across the dark sky, it was very eye-catching. Howl. There was a long howl resembling a wolf's cry, a huge hill-like soul beast appeared above Dancer Hong Yun, emerging from the deep dark clouds. This was an ancient soul beast, it thought of Dancer Hong Yun as prey, opening its mouth and pouncing at her. Dancer Hong Yun's pupils shrunk, she gritted her teeth and was about to strike. At this time, 1000 transformations, Will spoke. Let me handle it, Hong Yun, just advance. Dancer Hong Yun heard this and became overjoyed, she listened to him. Dancing red cloud did not stop at all, it continued forward without changing directions. The rank 8 Immortal GU activated, as a strange resonance targeted the ancient soul beast. The ancient soul beast opened its mouth, its huge body covered Dancer Hong Yun under its shadow, but at the crucial moment, its attack stopped eerily. Next, its head exploded as a monkey jumped out, its claws turned into vines, its fur turned into grass, and from its flesh, countless crocodiles jumped out. At once, the ancient soul beast broke apart and turned into countless random things. Next, they fell from the sky, it was like a drizzle. So impressive, this is the power of rank 8 mutation immortal GU. Looking back, Dancer Hong Yun was filled with shock. Killing an ancient desolate beast like killing a chicken. It was too simple. Dancer Hong Yun was aware that if she had to act personally, she would need to fight for 100 rounds to force this ancient soul beast to retreat. If she was lucky, she might be able to kill it. Once the ancient soul beast died, the ancient soul beasts near its territory became stirred up, they emerged from the dark clouds. 1,000 transformations. Will snorted coldly, he stopped concealing it as the rank 8 immortal GU aura leaked out. Feeling this aura, many ancient soul beasts returned to their hiding spots in the dark clouds, they did not want to mess with this troublesome foe. Of course, a portion of the ancient soul beasts still wanted to attack Dancer Hong Yun, they were not deterred. This was not a rank 8 GU immortal's aura, after all, it was just a rank 8 immortal GU. Soul beasts did not have high intelligence, but after killing all the ancient soul beasts that attacked, Dancer Hong Yun felt relieved and increasingly relaxed. After experiencing her power, the remaining ancient soul beasts left her alone. These wild soul beasts had survival instincts, after feeling a life-threatening danger, they would choose to back off. Roar! Just as Dancer Hong Yun relaxed her mind slightly, a loud beast roar resounded in her ears like thunder. A huge lion with gray-white ghost wings on its back pounced at her fiercely. Seeing this, Dancer Hong Yun's heart shook as she shouted, "Oh no, this is a green claw ghost-winged lion, an immemorial desolate beast." Chapter 14-13, Rank 8 Mutation Immortal GU. Green claw ghost-winged lion. This lion had a huge size, it ate souls as food. Currently, this type of immemorial desolate beast was very rare. During Spectral Soul Demon Venerable's era, it was very common. In fact, back then, green claw ghost-winged lions were a huge hurdle for Spectral Soul in his youth. After all, this immemorial desolate beast countered Soul Path. And even before Spectral Soul became a Demon Venerable, he used Soul Path as his main method. However, in the end, Spectral Soul was superior. Not only did he kill green claw ghost-winged lions, he even excavated and obtained their innate talent. Thereafter, when Spectral Soul had rank 8 cultivation level, he often captured green claw ghost-winged lions and finally managed to create the unprecedented soul-devouring method. The green claw ghost-winged lion was very famous. When it appeared in front of Dancer Hong Yun, the latter could not help but be shocked. But at the crucial moment, 1,000 transformations, Will told her, "Don't worry, this lion's ghost wings are not outstanding, it is still very weak. This shows that it is not in a good condition, we can fight it." Dancer Hong Yun heard this and calmed down instantly. She took a look. Indeed, the ghost wings of the green claw ghost-winged lion were very thin, they were rather unfitting with the green claw ghost-winged lion's huge body. Dancer Hong Yun felt slightly ashamed, thinking, "Husband's will only has one rank 8 immortal GU and a great amount of immortal essence, he has no investigative immortal methods, but he could expose the green claw ghost-winged lion's weakness immediately. In contrast, I had the methods but was stunned and petrified, that should not have happened." As she calmed down, she rode on the dancing red cloud and flew in an arc to avoid the green claw ghost-winged lion. Soon, she pulled some distance away from it. This green claw ghost-winged lion is really not in good condition, if it was even at 30% of its prime, you would not have been able to escape. 1,000 transformations, Will laughed, floating out and appearing beside Dancer Hong Yun. 1,000 transformations, Will directed its immortal essence into the rank 8 immortal GU. The immortal GU aura suddenly became extremely dense. A mystical wave suddenly shot out, landing on the green claw ghost-winged lion. At the next moment, the green claw ghost-winged lion screeched in pain as its tail turned into a venomous python. The python had a long body, it coiled around the green claw ghost-winged lion's body and bit on its face with its venomous teeth. The green claw ghost-winged lion quickly waved its black claws towards the python's body and head. But the python was very tough, it actually went into a deadlock with the green claw ghost-winged lion. At once, the green claw ghost-winged lion flapped its wings as it moved about in the sky, fighting with the python. Dancer Hong Yun sat on her red cloud as she rose into the sky, staring at the battle vigilantly. 1,000 transformations, Will was beside her, using that mysterious rank 8 immortal GU on the green claw ghost-winged lion continuously. With the mystical wave, soon, on the fur of the green claw ghost-winged lion, tree buds started growing. These were the ghost-crying tree's buds. The roots of the ghost-crying trees started to grow in the flesh of the green claw ghost-winged lion, absorbing nutrients. The green claw ghost-winged lion screeched in pain. It went berserk as it smashed the buds growing on its face and also destroyed the head of the python. Even though the python's body was still coiled around the green claw ghost-winged lion, it had thoroughly died with no strength remaining. The green claw ghost-winged lion was in a terrible state, its injuries were severe now. This is 1000 transformations, signature Immortal GU, mutation. It can mutate everything. The green claw ghost-winged lion's fur and tail became trees and python respectively. The green claw ghost-winged lion destroyed them, but it was actually damaging itself since they had the same origin. Dancer Hong Yun watched the battle as her heart shook, even though she had some understanding towards mutation Immortal GU, after seeing this battle personally, she was still deeply impacted. 1000 transformations, Will said solemnly. As expected, this green claw ghost-winged lion is not normal, it has deep injuries in its body, it only has ancient desolate level battle strength, and its ghost wings are useless. Strange it should not lack food inside Green Ghost Desert. Even though he was suspicious, 1000 transformations, Will did not stop attacking. Rank 8 Immortal GU mutation activated again. This time, the green claw ghost-winged lion's right eye mutated, it turned into a venomous bee. The bee did not fly away, it raised its venomous stinger and stabbed into the green claw ghost-winged lion's eye socket, before piercing into its brain. Howl! The green claw ghost-winged lion screamed desperately, causing huge sound waves to push away the dark clouds above it. But its torture had not ended. Soon, under the might of rank 8 Immortal GU mutation, its claws and teeth grew rapidly, into ancient desolate plants. The green claw ghost-winged lion moved its wings rapidly and rushed down, trying to escape. But Dancer Hong Yun did not let it go, she brought 1000 transformations, Will along with her. Eventually, the green claw ghost-winged lion crashed into the desert, creating a huge dust cloud several tens of feet in height. When the dust settled, the mangled green claw ghost-winged lion was motionless on the desert, it was dead. Go clean up the battlefield. 1000 transformations, Will informed as it went back into Dancer Hong Yun's body along with the Immortal GU. Dancer Hong Yun's eyes shone, she almost pounced at the green claw ghost-winged lion's corpse. I'm rich. This is the corpse of an immemorial desolate beast. Rank 8 immortal materials are rare even in treasure yellow heaven, it can refine rank 8 immortal GU. Dancer Hong Yun started to process the corpse with difficulty. Even though she was a rank 7 expert, faced with the corpse of an immemorial desolate beast, she could not dissect it easily. After a lot of effort, Dancer Hong Yun managed to dissect half of it. It is a pity that the mutated portions of the green claw ghost-winged lion cannot be used, they have no value. When she tore open the green claw ghost-winged lion's stomach, Dancer Hong Yun unexpectedly found Han Li. Han Li had already fainted, he was barely alive. Why is there a mortal GU master here? Dancer Hong Yun found it strange, she laughed. Should I call you lucky or unlucky? You met an immemorial desolate beast, but it was the green claw ghost-winged lion that devoured souls, because you have a physical body, you survived until now inside its stomach. If this was a normal immemorial desolate beast, you would have turned into meat paste already. Dancer Hong Yun stretched her arm out and soul-searched Han Li. It was strange that a mortal GU master appeared here out of nowhere. Dancer Hong Yun was curious and wanted to know information about Han Li. This fellow is called Han Li. Even though he has no background, his luck is really good. This is Zhen Yuanzi's formation path true inheritance. Suddenly, Dancer Hong Yun's pupils expanded, her eyes shined brightly as her breathing became rough. Chapter 14:14, True Inheritance Changes Owners. Dancer Hong Yun primarily cultivated Cloud Path, but because of Spectral Soul Demon Venerable, soul-searching methods became easy to learn, almost every GU immortal knew them. Right now, as she soul-searched Han Li, she learned about his experiences, and also his time inside the GU formation. Interesting. Dancer Hong Yun grabbed Han Li and went beneath the desert, quickly arriving at the underground cave. The cave was nearly collapsed, but Dancer Hong Yun found that a small GU formation was at a corner of the cave. She arrived in front of it, a path opened to the GU formation, the formation spirit was inside, saying, Master. The formation spirit was calling for Han Li, of course. What a formidable formation spirit. The GU formation had broken apart earlier, but it managed to assemble it again, this must be the work of the formation spirit. Dancer Hong Yun was moved. This way, Zhen Yuanzi's true inheritance is also intact. Haha, this immortal opportunity is mine. Dancer Hong Yun was extremely happy as she laughed. Bright light shone across her eyes, carrying Han Li. She said, "Little fellow, I saved your life, in return, you will hand this true inheritance over to me completely." Han Li opened his eyes. "All right. You heard him, formation spirit, your master has given everything to me." Dancer Hong Yun turned around and said to the formation spirit. The formation spirit was hesitant. "What, you want to defy your master's orders?" Dancer Hong Yun frowned slightly. The formation spirit was silent. Dancer Hong Yun sneered. "Formation spirit, your original owner was Zhen Yuanzi. He created the true inheritance to pass it down to future individuals. Now that Han Li has met the requirements to become your new master, are you going to go against that?" "Of course not," the formation spirit said without hesitation. "Then will you listen to your new master Han Li's words?" Dancer Hong Yun asked. "I will," the formation spirit said without hesitation again. "In that case, Han Li is giving you to me to repay my act of gratitude, will you resist?" Dancer Hong Yun pressured. The formation spirit was silent for a while. It felt that something was amiss, but it did not know what. In the end, it sighed as it said, "No denying it, you are my new master." "Ha ha ha, that is it, submit to me without any resistance." Saying this, Dancer Hong Yun injected her immortal essence. The formation spirit did not resist, it was refined easily by the immortal essence. It was the core of this GU formation. It could manipulate the formation in place of the GU Immortal, as long as there was enough immortal essence storage. The formation spirit submitted to Dancer Hong Yun, the other GU worms also went along with it. The immortal GU formation quickly changed owners. Dancer Hong Yun received several immortal GU, a large number of mortal GU, as well as Zhen Yuanzi's complete formation path true inheritance from the formation spirit. The immortal formation was completely open to Dancer Hong Yun without any concealment now. Dancer Hong Yun laughed loudly. She did not go in immediately, instead, she waved at Han Li. Goo! With a soft sound, Han Li turned into a pile of flesh. He was completely dead, even his soul was decimated. It turned out that Han Li did not actually wake up. Dancer Hong Yun used her immortal level methods to instill her will and manipulate Han Li, having him agree to hand over the true inheritance to her. It was very difficult to take immortal GU. But Han Li was immortal, while Dancer Hong Yun was a GU immortal. The difference between immortal and mortal was too big. Dancer Hong Yun completely suppressed him with her strength, he could not resist at all. Of course, if a mortal truly owned an immortal GU, it would not be easy for the GU immortal to take their immortal GU. If they were not careful, the mortal will destroy the immortal GU with them, there would be nothing to gain. Dancer Hong Yun's situation was very special. Even though Han Li passed the test and became the true inheritance's inheritor, because of the green claw ghost-winged lion, he did not refine the formation spirit or any of the other GU worms. Thus, the GU worms left by Zhen Yuanzi were still filled with Zhen Yuanzi's will. This was a loophole that Dancer Hong Yun made use of. There was another special reason, it was the formation spirit. Formation spirit immortal GU was a unique creation of Zhen Yuanzi. He replicated land spirits and heavenly spirits, to create a formation spirit for the GU Immortal, to assist in manipulating it. Formation Spirit Immortal GU was a one-time consumable GU worm. The Immortal GU would vanish after using it once, instead, a Formation Spirit would be born. In the future, if a GU Immortal wanted to use Formation Spirit Immortal GU again, they would need to refine a new one. The formation spirit had a certain level of intelligence, it was similar to land spirits and heavenly spirits, it could not lie, it was quite artless. This gave Dancer Hong Yun the chance to lie and deceive it, attempting to convince it. If there was no formation spirit and only a bunch of GU worms, they could not talk to Dancer Hong Yun, she could not convince them. But all in all, Dancer Hong Yun inherited Zhen Yuanzi's formation path true inheritance. Zhen Yuanzi was a GU immortal from the Super Force Che clan. To think that as a righteous path member, he actually left his true inheritance here instead of giving it to his clan. Thousand transformations. Will sighed. It seems that the rumors were true. Zhen Yuanzi was not on good terms with the clan, he was pushed aside by their GU immortals. This was all thanks to you, husband, that we could obtain this fortuitous encounter. Dancer Hong Yun smiled. After we save Kui Bo, and return to Myriad Statue Desert, you will hand the true inheritance over to my main body. Don't worry, you will get your benefits. Thousand transformations, Will said plainly. Dancer Hong Yun's felt some loss, she knew that if the true inheritance was handed over, the essence of it would be taken by Thousand Transformations' ancestor, it was uncertain how much would be left to her. But she had to give it to him. Throughout the process, Thousand Transformations, Will was with her, watching everything. Dancer Hong Yun had good strength, but against a rank 8 existence, she had no strength to resist. But in the first place, if I was alone, I would not have taken this risk. We could encounter Zhen Yuanzi's true inheritance because of husband's will. Thinking of this, Dancer Hong Yun's mind became more peaceful. She inspected her gains. There were 3 Immortal GU, 2 were Formation Path Immortal GU. Even though it was just a few, they were all rank 7. And the Formation Spirit was considered half an Immortal GU. If not for the fact that this GU formation broke apart once, Dancer Hong Yun would have even greater gains. After changing her location, Dancer Hong Yun internally cursed at Han Li for being trash, a mere mortal who dared to try getting a GU Immortal true inheritance. He truly deserved death. Chapter 14-15, Fixed Luck. Master, you cannot dismantle the GU formation. Once this GU formation is destroyed, I will also be destroyed. At this time, the formation spirit said to Dancer Hong Yun. Dancer Hong Yun nodded. This formation spirit was really useful. When the GU formation collapsed earlier, without anybody controlling it, it should have just broken apart entirely. But because of the formation spirit, a portion of the GU formation was salvaged and made into a smaller incomplete formation. It managed to last until now. Just like how land spirits could fix their blessed lands when they had holes, formation spirits could do the same. Dancer Hong Yun was not going to give up such a useful formation spirit. The formation spirit said again, thankfully, there is a formation flag GU in the GU formation. Master should first use formation flag GU, keep this GU formation in formation flag GU, before placing it into your immortal aperture. Back then, since Zhen Yuanzi created formation spirit immortal GU, he naturally understood its limitations, thus, he created formation flag GU to supplement it. Earlier, when the GU formation collapsed, the formation spirit first salvaged formation flag immortal GU, thus, Dancer Hong Yun only needed to learn to control it now. Some days later, the night sky was filled with bright stars. The air was cold, there was fog. In western desert, on a very ordinary sand dune, the light on Fang Yuan slowly faded. Eventually, all of his aura was concealed as the light turned into tiny specks that got drowned in the darkness of the night. Fang Yuan let out a breath of air and suddenly opened his eyes. I wonder what is the final effect of this immortal killer move, Fixed Luck. These last days, while Fang Yuan was escaping, he had been using this immortal killer move from time to time. He obtained Fixed Luck from Ma Hongyun. Fang Yuan found Fixed Luck from Ma Hongyun's soul. Of course, it meant that the killer move, Fixed Luck, was a part of all living beings' luck from Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's true inheritance. Fixed Luck was very suitable for Fang Yuan. Its effect was to make one's luck unwavering and not easily influenced. All along, Fang Yuan had been afraid of the weakness of Connect Luck. After all, back then when he used Connect Luck on Han Li, Hong Yi, and Yi Fan, it was because they had strong luck. But things changed. After obtaining dog shit luck, Fang Yuan's luck was superior to them. This meant that Fang Yuan had to split his good luck to Han Li and the others. This was detrimental to him. Especially when using burning soul bursting luck, the luck he gained would not fully benefit him, a portion would be split to the rest of them. In the past, Fang Yuan did not have a choice, but after killing Ma Hongyun, he had a method now. Fixed Luck was the solution. The core of this killer move was Stubborn Immortal GU, and Rule Path Immortal GU, Ma'an. But after Fang Yuan's modification, this killer move used Precaution Immortal GU and Rule Path Immortal GU, Big, instead. Fang Yuan had Precaution Immortal GU long ago, while Big, Immortal GU was obtained from Purple Mountain True Monarch. Purple Mountain True Monarch was a Miniman GU Immortal. After using Big, Immortal GU, his body would expand and he would become a human GU Immortal. However, Fang Yuan's luck path attainment was not at Grandmaster level, the modification of the move only succeeded partially. This killer move still had some flaws. When activating it, even if Fang Yuan made no mistakes, there was still a chance of failure. That was the say, this killer move, Fixed Luck, was not reliable upon activation. Fang Yuan knew the weakness, but because of his low attainment level, he could not fix it or modify it properly. In the past, Fang Yuan had been desiring Break Luck Immortal GU, but now, even though he did not have Break Luck Immortal GU, he had Fixed Luck, he could defend his own interests. Fixed Luck's effect could not be seen physically, he was unsure of the effect. But according to the content of all living beings' luck, Fang Yuan knew, when two people had a close relationship, their luck would be joined together. If two people were on the same side, their luck would unify, they would rise together or go down together. This was what it meant to enjoy fortune and endure misfortune together. However, through Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's research, he found that even if luck was unified, there were subtle profound differences. Even though fortune could be shared, and misfortune could be endured together, some people would get more fortune and suffer less misfortune. Why? Giant Sun Immortal Venerable realized that the person with greater luck between these two would gain more benefits, the one with weaker luck would suffer more hardship, and even bring great benefits to the other person when they gain benefits themselves. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable named this relationship as the main luck and sub-luck, creating their respective luck path Immortal GU. However, Fang Yuan did not have main luck Immortal GU and sub-luck Immortal GU now. Even without them, Fang Yuan could fix his own luck and create differences between his own luck and others, becoming the main luck. After resting for a while, Fang Yuan put fixed luck behind him as he went back to modifying the killer move, self-cleansing. In terms of formation path, Fang Yuan was much more confident. After all, he was a formation path grandmaster. With his advantage, his progress in this aspect was rapid. Thus, turning the entire self-cleansing killer move into a GU formation was only a few steps away from finishing. Success was around the corner, but Fang Yuan's worry was that he lacked the crucial formation path Immortal GU. Langya sect's formation plate Immortal GU could be borrowed, but it was only rank 6. Meanwhile, the self-cleansing Immortal formation was at rank 7. Using rank 6 formation plate GU for a rank 7 Immortal formation, the chances of failure were high. There was another point: the formation plate GU recorded the sub-main teleportation GU formation of Langya sect. If Fang Yuan wanted to use it to make the self-cleansing formation, he would need to erase the content of the sub-main teleportation GU formation. Next, he would need to set up the formation using formation plate GU. After one success, formation plate GU would have the ability to set up the self-cleansing formation itself. This was a problem. Fang Yuan had negotiated with Langya Land Spirit before. The sub-main teleportation formation was too important to Langya Land Spirit and Langya sect, it affected their development. Langya sect had no formation path GU immortals, the teleportation formations were created relying on this formation plate Immortal GU. If Fang Yuan wanted to erase the information in formation plate Immortal GU and put in new details, it would mean that Langya sect would lose the ability to set up the sub-main teleportation GU formation. This was unacceptable to Langya Land Spirit. They did not have information path methods to extract the information recorded in formation plate GU. Simply looking at the process of formation plate GU setting up the Immortal GU formation could not explain all of its profundities. There were many hidden details like instilling Immortal essence or the cooperation of GU worms. Fang Yuan had to reassure Langya Land Spirit that as a formation path grandmaster, he could recreate the sub-main teleportation formation. Langya Land Spirit was hesitating now. Chapter 14:16. Hong Yun's Pursuit. Fang Yuan was helpless. He could not force Langya Land Spirit to do anything. Right now, he was stuck here. Even if he wanted to continue deducing the self-cleansing formation, without the crucial Immortal GU, it would not work. And most importantly, I need to borrow Langya sect's strength to refine GU. Fang Yuan obtained Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance. He lacked many Immortal GU. He had a bunch of plans for what Immortal GU to refine next. If Langya Land Spirit thought about it for a long time and still rejected him, what would he do? Fang Yuan had considered this problem. He always did things by considering the worst possible outcome first. If Langya Land Spirit refuses to lend formation plate Immortal GU, I will need to use other people's Immortal apertures. Fang Yuan had a lot of Dao marks. It was hard to get into the Immortal apertures of the other Shadow Sect GU Immortals. Unless they placed their Immortal aperture to form a blessed land with deep foundation, then it would be possible. After Fang Yuan entered another Immortal aperture, he could use time path methods to expand the tributary of the River of Time and increase the rate of time inside. That way, one day in the outside world would be half a month inside the Immortal aperture. This would allow him to obtain a huge amount of precious time to work with. Next, he would set up the self-cleansing Immortal GU formation in the Blessed Land, and Fang Yuan would enter it to cleanse his detrimental Dao marks. This was the plan that Fang Yuan would use if he had no alternatives left. Because its flaw was equally big. After placing the Immortal aperture, the position would be fixed. By then, it would be dangerous if Feng Juzhe pursued them. Did Feng Juzhe have any method to break into an Immortal aperture? It was possible. Even if Feng Juzhe did not, he was backed by Spirit Affinity House and Heavenly Court, they would not let him have this limitation. There was another important point: once the time path method was used, the tributary of the river of time would change. And this modification could not be adjusted against for a period of time. For example, if Fang Yuan made the time in He Lu Lan's immortal aperture accelerate, for a few months, he would not be able to change the tributary size again. Inside He Fan's time path true inheritance, be it days pass like years or months pass like years, they had this problem when trying to modify the tributary of the river of time to affect the rate of time. Because these killer moves were one-time activation moves with lasting effects. If one tries to influence the tributary of the river of time consecutively over a short period, time path Dao would be disrupted, the tributary would be in disastrous turmoil. Fang Yuan already knew the time of arrival for the Gu Immortals' calamities and tribulations. After calculating, he realized that if he used this method, one of them would need to undergo their immortal aperture's tribulation. This was troublesome. All along, Heaven's will has been trying to find ways of killing Fang Yuan. Even though Fang Yuan could choose other people's immortal apertures, Heaven's will could see everything, and everyone that is linked to Fang Yuan. During the tribulation, Heaven's will would definitely use all its power to kill the Gu Immortal undergoing tribulation. Fang Yuan and the rest could collaborate to deal with the calamities and tribulations. But Heavenly Court had pursuers. Looking at the time and their speed, placing the immortal aperture would not be able to get rid of the investigative killer move at once. That way, Fang Yuan would need to endure an immortal aperture's tribulation and face the assault of Heavenly Court's Gu Immortals together. It was too risky. If Fang Yuan used his sovereign immortal aperture for it, it would be even more dangerous. Fang Yuan had another concern. Last time, only Feng Zhuzhe came. I wonder how many Heavenly Court Gu Immortals would show up next time. Thus, during this period, Fang Yuan had been moving around, not giving these Heavenly Court Gu Immortals a chance to encircle him. Western Desert was so huge, while Heavenly Court had to enter another region to fight, with Fang Yuan and the others using omnidirectional travel, it was very difficult to find and kill him. When time was up, several figures flew towards him in the sky. They were Bai Ningbing, He Lu Lan and the others. Usually, when Fang Yuan cultivated or made deductions, they would spread out and guard the surroundings for him. Fang Yuan, when will that immortal Gu formation be completed? How long must we continue to run around? At this moment, Bai Ningbing flew down, frowning as she asked impatiently. Fang Yuan did not need to look around, he could feel that the rest of the Gu Immortals had looked towards him because of the questions. Wait a bit more, Fang Yuan said plainly. Bai Ningbing snorted coldly, her expression was of displeasure. She was the most impatient person among them, this type of lifestyle was not exciting, she felt extremely bored. Aren't you able to create that immortal Gu formation? Set up another one and kill all of the Heavenly Court pursuers again. Bai Ningbing suggested. Fang Yuan shook his head. Do you think the immortal Gu formation is easy to set up? We need a tributary of the river of time. The immortal Gu formation used to harm Feng Zhuzhe earlier came from He Fan's true inheritance. He Fan created this formation to defend against immemorial year beasts. Because the use of years flow like water, immortal Gu would attract immemorial year beasts that would enter the Gu Immortal's immortal aperture through the tributary of the river of time. He Fan used this immortal Gu formation on the tributary, so that when an immemorial year beast entered and the Gu Immortal could not deal with it, they could detonate the formation and destroy the tributary of the river of time, forcing that immemorial year beast back into the river. Of course, this method was a trump card that could only be used when there were no other options. With the destruction of the tributary of the river of time, the immortal aperture's time would freeze, it would be extremely difficult to draw in another tributary, they would need one from the outside world. I have the same feelings as you, I do not like being hunted down. But I would rather accumulate the hatred in my heart, to wait for a proper time to counterattack and deal a fatal blow to those people. Isn't that what you want, the excitement of the future? HMPH. Bai Ningbing stopped speaking. Alright, let's move. This place is not safe anymore. Fang Yuan had just said that when the expressions of Bai Ningbing and the others changed. In the sky, a red cloud descended, dancer Hong Yun was on it. Her face was pink and rosy, her gaze was on Fang Yuan and Gang who were near the sand dune. Concubine Kui, who are these people? Why are you with them? Dancer Hong Yun asked in a reprimanding tone. Concubine Kui was naturally Fairy Kui Bo. Hong Yun. Ying Wuxie was surprised, before showing an appropriate joyful expression, asking, why are you here? The red cloud descended slowly, as dancer Hong Yun observed this, Fairy Kui Bo. Ying Wuxie was currently using the body of Fairy Kui Bo, which he had possessed with his soul. There were naturally flaws now. After all, his soul was not completely compatible with the body. If it were an ordinary Gu immortal possession, dancer Hong Yun would be able to see the flaws, but this was Ying Wuxie she was looking at. Who was Ying Wuxie? He was a split soul of spectral soul demon Venerable. His soul foundation was many times that of Fang Yuan. Spectral soul demon Venerable was the creator of Soul Path. He had countless split souls with many identities. They lurked in the 5 regions and created a force, without showing any flaws. Ying Wuxie naturally had ways to conceal his possession method. As expected, after dancer Hong Yun used her investigative methods, she did not find anything amiss with Fairy Kui Bo. Her expression became warmer. You were in huge trouble, your life tablet Gu and soul lantern Gu were affected, thus, I came to help you. But it seems that you are in good shape, husband and I were worried for nothing. Next, dancer Hong Yun asked again, who are they? They seem familiar. Dancer Hong Yun's gaze turned to Fang Yuan. Suddenly, her expression changed, she was shocked, Lu Guanyi. Dancer Hong Yun was backed by 1,000 transformations ancestor, her intel was far wider than normal Gu immortals. After the Battle of Reverse Flow River, Lu Guanyi's appearance was known to the world. As time passed, more and more Gu immortals knew about him. And Lu Guanyi's appearance was the original appearance of Fang Yuan in his sovereign immortal body. This time, dancer Hong Yun came very abruptly. Fang Yuan did not manage to change his appearance. That is me, how should I address you? After being exposed, Fang Yuan asked coldly and calmly. Dancer Hong Yun did not answer yet. She first rode the red cloud and moved back by a distance. Facing Lu Guanyi, she had a heavy expression, feeling great pressure in her heart. This was someone who could fight with rank 8 existences. Some time ago, his name became renowned in the world, gaining the same status as Feng Juzhe. Thankfully, I have husband's will in his rank 8 immortal Gu. Otherwise, dancer Hong Yun felt relieved while her eyes darted around as she said, Concubine Kui, despite husbands and my concern, you mixed with Gu immortals from other regions and worse, you did not even send us a letter. Dancer Hong Yun had her own objective, she was saying this to sow discord between 1,000 transformations ancestor and Fairy Kui Bo. 1,000 transformations ancestor doted on Fairy Kui Bo normally, dancer Hong Yun was very jealous, she would not give up this chance to attack Fairy Kui Bo. Her words were addressed to Ying Wuxie, but it was meant for 1,000 transformations, will. Fang Yuan's gaze became solemn, while Bai Ningbing and He Lu Lan subtly looked at each other. Dancer Hong Yun's words were simply disregarding Lu Guanyi. She had this level of confidence, she was definitely relying on more than just her battle strength. Fang Yuan, Bai Ningbing, He Lu Lan understood this, but Ying Wuxie, Fairy Miao Yin, and Lady White Rabbit did not realize this. Alright, tell us your encounter, Concubine Kui, I am very curious. At this time, 1,000 transformations will emerge from dancer Hong Yun's body. There was a trump card indeed. Ying Wuxie thought. This is the crucial moment, let's see how Ying Wuxie gets through this. Bright light shined in Fang Yuan's eyes. Bai Ningbing and the rest were slightly worried. Ying Wuxie had grown quickly, but he was still young, his acting was inferior to Fang Yuan, it would be quite hard for 1,000 transformations will to not sense a flaw in his acting. Could he do it? Chapter 14-17. Cooperating with 1,000 transformations. This was basically what happened. As mild wind blew across the sand dune, Fairy Kui Bo explained her side of the story. According to her, she was trying to find Western Desert Zombie Alliance's inheritance, but she met with Heavenly Court's Gu Immortals. The Heavenly Court Gu Immortals seemed to be familiar with her, knowing that she was 1,000 transformations ancestor's concubine. Even though Fairy Kui Bo used his name as deterrence, their animosity grew deeper. In the process of fighting, Fairy Kui Bo was hit by the Heavenly Court Gu Immortal's killer moves, most of her Gu worms were destroyed. Fortunately, she met with Lu Guanyi and the others. It turned out that Heavenly Court was chasing after Lu Guanyi. The enemy of an enemy is a friend, Lu Guanyi thus saved Fairy Kui Bo and fought to escape from Heavenly Court's pursuit. But because they were hit by Heavenly Court's investigative killer move, during this period, they had been escaping. They could not split up as the enemy would just attack them separately. All in all, Ying Wuxie described it with great detail, and some of his words almost could make others feel they personally experienced the situation. The truth was, ever since Fang Yuan and the rest captured Fairy Kui Bo, they had excavated most of the information about 1,000 transformations ancestor from her soul. Fang Yuan and the others came up with many plans to deal with all the possible situations. Ying Wuxie's description was a mix of truths and lies. Fang Yuan and the others turned from enemies to benefactors, while Feng Zhuzhe also appeared. His description was very realistic and did not have much tampering in it. The story was flawless, because Fang Yuan and the others had thought about it intensely. The only problem was, Fairy Kuibo had lost all of her immortal GU and a large portion of her mortal GU in battle. This was too coincidental, but there was no choice. If 1,000 transformations, Will wanted Ying Wuxie to show his immortal GU, that would be a disaster. After all, the GU worms that Fairy Kuibo had were filled with her will, Ying Wuxie could not use them. The truth was, when Fairy Kuibo got captured by Bai Ningbing, she had already detonated all of her GU worms, leaving no resources to the enemy. Thus, Fang Yuan and the rest had to say this to make up for the huge flaw. Dancer Hong Yun had a shocked expression on her face. She looked at Fairy Kuibo, not expecting her to have met with such incredible danger. And the truth was, Bai Ningbing, He Lulan and the others were very surprised. Because Ying Wuxie's acting was excellent, he showed no flaws, it was natural and believable. When did Ying Wuxie acquire such a skill? He Lulan was slightly surprised. Only Fang Yuan was not surprised at Ying Wuxie's performance. Because he had already lent attitude GU to Ying Wuxie. With this rank 8 immortal GU, Ying Wuxie's acting was naturally flawless. Especially when he was up against a rank 7 GU immortal and the will of a rank 8. If 1,000 transformations ancestor was here personally, it might be a problem, but Ying Wuxie could completely handle these two right now. Success. Be it Dancer Hong Yun or 1,000 transformations, Will, they did not doubt Ying Wuxie's words. Fang Yuan saw this and said, Lord 1,000 transformations and Fairy Hong Yun, Heavenly Court's GU immortals came after us, but Fairy Kuibo was saved by us, that is the truth, right? He spoke plainly with no expression, he showed the arrogance of an expert, even against a rank 8 existence, he displayed no fear. Fang Yuan did not have attitude GU, but his acting was profound and skillful, he could easily do it. He was the cause of Fairy Kuibo's death, but he ended up acting like her benefactor. This was shameless, but Fang Yuan acted like it was the truth. 1,000 transformations, Will went silent. Even though Fang Yuan had rank 7 cultivation level, the fame of Lu Guanyi allowed him to speak on equal terms with 1,000 transformations, Will. If 1,000 transformations ancestor was here personally, Fang Yuan might not have such a status. But 1,000 transformations, Will and 1,000 transformations ancestor were two different things. After thinking about it, 1,000 transformations, Will broke the silence. How do you want to be rewarded? Fang Yuan's lips curled up, he smiled. His smile was bright like the sun, he was truly handsome, even Dancer Hong Yun was dazed as she looked at him. I do not need a reward, but I have a suggestion. Fang Yuan said. What is it? Alliance. Fang Yuan said. Alliance. 1,000 transformations, Will went silent again. Fang Yuan urged. 1,000 transformations ancestor, you obtained reckless savage demon Venerable's true inheritance, you are an eyesore to Heavenly Court. Their attitude towards you is clear from their attack on Fairy Kuibo. Because of Reverse Flow River, I was chased by Heavenly Court until I got here. We have a common enemy, that is Heavenly Court. Helping each other is helping ourselves, isn't that true? I have a good time path method in my possession, I can slow down the rate of time in Lord 1,000 transformations, Immortal Aperture, to delay your tribulations. Furthermore, I have a luck path true inheritance. Ma Hong Yun died in my hands, I have his portion of all living beings' luck. This is Giant Son Immortal Venerable's true inheritance. Husband, Dancer Hong Yun was greatly moved by Fang Yuan's glib tongue. Lord Husband, I think that we can make an alliance. Ying Wuxie said, trying to convince 1,000 transformations, Will as well. Eventually, 1,000 transformations, Will spoke, but this was what he said. We can have an alliance. But our cooperation must be gradual. Lu Guanyi, you want to make use of me to deal with the Heavenly Court GU Immortals, why would I not know your plan? We can cooperate mildly first, before we deepen it slowly. If our cooperation goes well, I can go and block the Heavenly Court GU Immortals for you. If our cooperation is less than satisfactory, I will need to see your sincerity before we continue working together. 1,000 transformations ancestor was a rank 8 GU Immortal, he was not easy to deceive. He was an old schemer, not only did he expose Fang Yuan's plan, he even used the pressure of Heavenly Court to force Fang Yuan to relinquish some benefits. Sincerity. Fang Yuan smiled. Sincerity goes both ways, we saved Fairy Kuibo, that is our biggest sincerity. What is yours? Fang Yuan avoided the topic of Heavenly Court, and retaliated against 1,000 transformations, Will. 1,000 transformations. Will thought for a while, we can cooperate first, like making transactions. What do you need? I will try to satisfy you. Chapter 14:18. Trap succeeds. Transactions. Fang Yuan raised his eyebrows. He instantly understood the intention of 1,000 transformations. Will 1,000 transformations ancestor obtained reckless savage's true inheritance. After so many years of development, he definitely had the foundation to transact with Fang Yuan, even though he had great losses in his recent tribulation. But because of the tribulation, 1,000 transformations ancestor did not want to fight. If he agreed to ally with Fang Yuan, he would need to face Heavenly Court's GU Immortals. 1,000 transformations ancestor was not stupid. How could he become the shield of Fang Yuan and the others now? But Fang Yuan's suggestion was extremely tempting. Be it the time-slowing methods in He Fan's true inheritance, or his luck path true inheritance, they were rare ways to alleviate his problem of impending tribulations. 1,000 transformations ancestor had just suffered a terrible loss from his tribulation. He had a huge need for such methods. Thinking about it, 1,000 transformations, Will felt that working with Lu Guanyi was beneficial. But this benefit would become a huge problem in the future when Lu Guanyi faces Heavenly Court, and 1,000 transformations ancestor did not want to be a part of that problem. He was heavily injured now. If he engages in fierce fight, he would expose his currently weakened state. Thus, 1,000 transformations ancestor wanted to transact with Fang Yuan. It was another form of cooperation. This way, he would fund Fang Yuan and the others. Not only will he repay the favor of saving Fairy Quibo, he would even improve his relationship with Fang Yuan. There were clear benefits in this. Firstly, his concubine was saved by him. He had to reward him for it. Otherwise, who would help to save 1,000 transformations ancestors' friends or family in the future? Secondly, after improving his relationship with Fang Yuan, in the future, if he needs help, he can use this incident as a reason. Rank 8 GU Immortals were all old schemers. Even if this was just 1,000 transformations, he had great wisdom and calculated his own gains and losses clearly. Fang Yuan was silent for a while before nodding. Okay, I need formation path Immortal GU now. Do you have any? Actually, Fang Yuan bore little hope in this. But Dancer Hong Yun was stunned. 1,000 transformations. Will smiled. This is very coincidental. I do not cultivate formation paths, so I did not have any. But on the way here, we obtained a GU Immortal True Inheritance. It was left by a formation path expert. Oh, Hong Yun, take out your gains and let Lu Guanyi choose. 1,000 transformations, Will informed. He was clear about Zhen Yuanzi's formation path true inheritance. The formation path Immortal GU was useless to the main body. It was perfect for this purpose. Dancer Hong Yun would not defy 1,000 transformations, Will. Even though she was upset, she did not hesitate. She took out that incomplete immortal formation from her immortal aperture and placed it on the sand dune. Fang Yuan and the others were shocked. This immortal formation could actually be moved. This was very rare, because this was the framework of an immortal GU house. Immortal GU houses were the essence of formation path. They were immortal killer moves and also mobile immortal GU formations. Fang Yuan's heart jumped. Seeing this, he felt like something good was about to happen. Indeed, from Dancer Hong Yun's description, Fang Yuan learned that this incomplete immortal formation actually contained formation flag Immortal GU. Rank 7 Immortal GU formation flag. This was one of the immortal GU that Fang Yuan needed. Amazing. With this GU, I will not need to negotiate with Lang Ya Land Spirit, or borrow formation plate Immortal GU. It will be very convenient to set up the self-cleansing Immortal GU formation. In time, all of the investigative killer move Dao marks will be cleansed. At this moment, Fang Yuan saw hope in the future. But he was still very calm on the surface. He only exposed a bit of joy. He looked at 1,000 transformations. Well, as he said, this incomplete Immortal GU formation is not bad. To speak the truth, I need such a GU formation to defend against the pursuit of Heavenly Court's GU Immortals, and gain a safe location to rest. I am willing to pay a huge amount of immortal materials in exchange for this incomplete immortal formation. What? Dancer Hong Yun's expression changed. Lu Guanyi is so greedy, he wants the entire immortal GU formation. Next, Fang Yuan thought about it and gave a list of immortal materials to 1,000 transformations ancestor. Lord 1,000 transformations, there are only a few immortal materials in my list, but that cannot be helped. This is all I can give, and I really need this immortal formation. If this transaction goes through, I will remember this forever. In the future, if you have any needs, I will do my best to help. Fang Yuan spoke earnestly. Dancer Hong Yun also took a look at this list. She was so furious, on the edge of exploding. She looked towards Fang Yuan with deep animosity. She was very unhappy. This Lu Guanyi is too shameless. He actually said such things. But 1,000 transformations, will agreed after some consideration. Alright, I will accept the immortal materials, you can have the incomplete GU formation. We have no debt to each other, you're saved Fairy Kui Bo, and I did this transaction with you, this is our connection. After some pause, 1,000 transformations, will continued. Lu Guanyi, even though you are a junior, I have heard of your name long ago. You will definitely be extraordinary, there is no harm in befriending you. This is my information path GU Worm, if you want to make any deals in the future, contact me directly. Goodbye. Lord 1,000 transformations is truly magnanimous, I am in awe. This is my information path GU Worm, I hope you will keep it. Fang Yuan changed his tone, not only was his expression sincere looking, he even gave his information path GU Worm. Concubine Kui, let's go. 1,000 transformations, Will said. Ying Wuxie looked at Fang Yuan deeply as he smiled at the rest. Thank you for the concern these last few days. See you again. They departed. Fairy Kui Bo sat on the dancing red cloud and soon flew into the sky. When Dancer Hong Yun and the rest left Fang Yuan's vision, he retracted his gaze with deep battle intent in his eyes. Ying Wuxie has already sent back the information, they are returning through the same path, their destination is Myriad Statue Desert. Come, let's execute our plan. Fang Yuan said. Lady White Rabbit went into Fang Yuan's immortal aperture as He Lu Lan, Fang Yuan, Bai Ningbing, and Fairy Miao Yin remained behind. Ancient battle formation, omnidirectional travel. With a sharp light, at the next moment, Fang Yuan and the rest appeared in Green Ghost Desert. Fang Yuan started to set up his formation while Fairy Miao Yin and Lady White Rabbit helped him out. He Lu Lan was patrolling the area, preventing wild soul beasts from causing trouble. Bai Ningbing flew into the sky, in the blink of an eye, she went out of Fang Yuan's vision, she was going after Dancer Hong Yun. Dancer Hong Yun returned on the same route, but Fang Yuan and the others had used omnidirectional travel, they were already ahead of her. An immortal formation from Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance was rapidly set up. Fang Yuan moved proficiently while Fairy Miao Yin and Lady White Rabbit cooperated with him with great chemistry. This immortal formation had been used multiple times already. Ying Wuxie could not be discarded. Not only because of his strong battle strength due to the killer move, led soul into dream, but also because of sixth hair. If Ying Wuxie died, sixth hair would not work with Fang Yuan this closely. He might even think that Fang Yuan tried to get Ying Wuxie killed, and would disregard his own safety to try and get Fang Yuan killed at all costs. Meanwhile, Fang Yuan needed sixth hair to refine GU for him. And there was another thing, the mental state of his allies. If Fang Yuan gave up on Ying Wuxie now, he would also give up on Lady White Rabbit and Fairy Miao Yin in the future. Even if they showed no response to it externally, they would definitely be full of doubts and suspicion in their hearts. Fairy Miao Yin and Lady White Rabbit were not like He Lu Lan. Fang Yuan did not have strong control over them. Using omnidirectional travel to ambush 1,000 transformations, Will and Dancer Hong Yun, luring them into the immortal formation to kill them, that was the plan. Of course, this plan was based around Ying Wuxie getting the trust of 1,000 transformations ancestor first. Other than this plan, Fang Yuan had many other plans to deal with other situations. The more prepared he was, the greater the chances of winning. Be it Fang Yuan, He Lu Lan, or Ying Wuxie, they were not going to fight unprepared. However, when Fang Yuan finished 60% of this immortal formation, Bai Ningbing transmitted, no need to set up, Ying Wuxie has already succeeded. Fang Yuan and the rest stopped setting up the formation as they got to Bai Ningbing's side. Over there, in the sky, there was a huge dream realm floating in the air. Ha ha ha, Ying Wuxie did very well this time. Bai Ningbing laughed. He took down 1,000 transformations, Will in that rank 7 GU Immortal, Dancer Hong Yun, without fighting, incredible, exciting. Fang Yuan also smiled lightly. This was a scheme. They had planned it long ago. Be it 1,000 transformations ancestor or anyone else, as long as they gained their trust, this plan would work. The method used was not lead soul into dream. This killer move could not conceal its aura, once activated, it would be found out immediately. Pure dream reality seeker physique bodies were the best tools for a sneak attack. Back then, Fang Yuan used the immortal bodies to force the immortal GU House of Southern Borders Yi clan to escape. One skill to dominate the world. Even rank 9 Immortal GU House Heaven Overseeing Tower did not dare to enter the dream realms. When everyone's research of Dream Path was still at the initial stage, using Dream Path methods against enemies was unstoppable. Because being at the forefront of this era had huge advantages. Even Thousand Transformations' ancestor's main body would have no answer to it, not to mention his mere will. Going back to 2 hours ago. On the dancing red cloud, Fairy Kui Bo suddenly started laughing. It seems that Concubine Kui got some benefits, otherwise, you would not laugh like this. Thousand Transformations, Will said. Husband understands me best. Even though I lost my Immortal GU, my gains were huge. Husband, Hong Yun, look at this. Ying Wuxie took out a pure dream reality seeker physique body. This is Dream Path. Thousand Transformations, Will was shocked. Concubine Kui, where did you get this? Heavenly Court is mainly pursuing Lu Guanyi for this immortal body, it seems. I obtained this by chance, Lu Guanyi and the others have no idea. Ying Wuxie said coquettishly, Lord Husband, I made such a huge contribution, how will you reward me? Dancer Hong Yun scolded, shameless slut. Thousand Transformations, Will laughed loudly, I really need to reward you well. Boom, the pure dream reality seeker physique body exploded at once. All of them were engulfed by the newly created dream realm, none flew out or escaped. Chapter 14:19, Pure Dream Reality Seeker achieves success. Alright, save Ying Wuxie first, He Lu Lan, it will depend on you. Fang Yuan instructed as he opened his immortal aperture's entrance. He Lu Lan nodded, her soul came out of her body and entered Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. Meanwhile, her body floated in the air, unmoving. Soon, a pure dream reality seeker physique body flew out. It was He Lu Lan. He Lu Lan flew into the dream realm and quickly pulled Ying Wuxie out after a while. Ying Wuxie was still dreaming, he had not woken up yet. This pure dream reality seeker physique body self-detonated, Ying Wuxie was at the very center, he suffered the greatest impact from the explosion. Thus, even though his body escaped the dream realm, his soul was still trapped inside the dream. It was like he had been hit by lead soul into dream, or during the time of He Lu Lan's dream path tribulation. At this moment, Fang Yuan's unravel dream killer move was very useful. He could not use it earlier because Thousand Transformations, Will and Dancer Hong Yun were trapped here. If he used unravel dream, these two would escape. Without the dream realm, they would wake up rapidly. If he wanted to unravel a portion of the dream realm, Fang Yuan could not control it so meticulously yet. All in all, there were huge risks in this. Fang Yuan had the pure dream reality seeker physique bodies, he naturally chose to use this superior method. The pure dream reality seeker physique was created by Old Man Yan Shi, it contained dream path Dao marks. Old Man Yan Shi wanted to create the 11th extreme physique, he succeeded to an extent, but not fully, because the pure dream reality seeker physique had a huge flaw, it was limited by time, once time was up, it would detonate into a dream realm. However, the pure dream reality seeker physique had its unique advantages. The greatest advantage was that the body could enter and exit dream realms at ease, the soul was protected and would not be lost inside dream realms. Back then, during the battle of the dream realm, He Lu Lan, Bai Ningbing, and the rest had escaped into the immortal apertures of the pure dream reality seeker physique bodies, before entering dream realms to escape from danger. After the crisis was over, they came out safely. Fang Yuan saw this clearly back then, it left a deep impression in him. Now, Fang Yuan was reenacting the same scene. After using Unravel Dream, Ying Wuxie woke up but his soul suffered some injuries. Fang Yuan used Guts Gu to heal all of his soul's injuries, he went back to perfect condition. Now was the important part. If he did it well, not only would Fang Yuan capture Dancer Hong Yun, he would even obtain that rank 8 Immortal GU. Dancer Hong Yun, Thousand Transformations, Will, rank 8 Immortal GU, out of these three, the easiest one to deal with was Dancer Hong Yun. She was only a rank 7 GU Immortal, even if she was dragged out now, she would be like Ying Wuxie earlier, deep inside her dream. At this time, Ying Wuxie just needs to use lead soul into dream to seal the deal. Dancer Hong Yun was fish on the chopping block, she was not a concern. The things to consider were Thousand Transformations, Will and that rank 8 Immortal GU. Wills were expended in the dream realm. But different from the soul, the reason why wills got weaker was because they had to think in the dream realm. Any will would shrink as they thought about things. The more things they thought about, the faster the will is depleted. But the moment the will leaves the dream realm, they would recover, unlike souls. Thus, if 1,000 transformations, will was not fully depleted, if He Lulan got it out, it would use the rank 8 Immortal GU on Fang Yuan and the others. By then, Fang Yuan and the others would face the attack of a rank 8 Immortal GU. And more terrifyingly, Fang Yuan and the others did not know what this rank 8 Immortal GU could do. He could not defend against it. There was nothing to prepare against it. Thus, they had to wait until 1,000 transformations, will was depleted before dragging dancer Hong Yun out. That would be the best situation. However, the use of immortal killer moves of other paths would not affect the dream realm at all. Even if He Lulan found dancer Hong Yun, who was trapped in the dream realm, she could not check if 1,000 transformations, will was fully depleted yet. On the other hand, lead soul into dream had no effect on 1,000 transformations, will. 1,000 transformations, will was just a will, lead soul into dream had to be used on targets with a soul. Thus, the crux of this plan was time. If he waited 3 to 5 years, this will of 1,000 transformations would definitely be depleted. But by then, 1,000 transformations ancestor would have arrived. Thus, for Fang Yuan and the others, not to mention years, they could be in grave danger if they stayed for 3 days. Because Fang Yuan and the rest were constantly being pursued, Heaven's will was planning to encircle and trap them. The longer they stayed here, the greater the danger. Thus, Fang Yuan's plan was to wait for a day. That was the limit. A day later, He Lulan would bring dancer Hong Yun out of the dream realm and he would use his investigative methods to see if 1,000 transformations, will was still around. There were risks of course. Thus, Fang Yuan and the rest were hiding far away, only He Lulan was around. If they succeeded, Fang Yuan would gain a new rank 8 Immortal GU. The risks were taken up by others, while the benefits were his own. This was what Fang Yuan was doing. My only concern is that Heavenly Court or 1,000 transformations might come here during this period. Fang Yuan thought to himself as Fairy Miao Yin's expression changed. Feng Juzhe is here, he is rapidly moving towards us. Fairy Miao Yin alerted. He actually escaped from the river of time. Lady White Rabbit called out in dismay. At this particular timing, He Lulan gritted her teeth. Bai Ningbing had a cold gaze. If we had known this, we would have set up that immortal GU formation earlier. Feng Juzhe would get to taste its power. Forget it. Fang Yuan was decisive. Feng Juzhe is backed by Heavenly Court. It is not strange that he escaped from the river of time. We will leave now. This can stay here. After all, even if Heavenly Court's Duke Long comes here, they cannot do anything to the dream realm. Ancient battle formation, omnidirectional travel. The immortals immediately teleported away with Fang Yuan at the lead. So resolute, Feng Juzhe arrived to see nobody. He smiled as he praised. Next, his gaze landed on the dream realm. This is a dream realm. Without need for him to report, the current situation was seen by Heavenly Court's Fairy Ziwei. Why is there a dream realm here? What is the reason? I am afraid that this is not simple. We need to investigate it. As she thought about it, Fairy Ziwei transmitted to Feng Juzhe, telling him about the location of Fang Yuan and the rest. Feng Juzhe immediately chased after them with rapid speed. Fang Yuan and the rest quickly felt the pressure. When they used omnidirectional travel, they realized that Feng Juzhe would chase them quickly. Feng Juzhe is getting faster. What immortal killer move is he using? With Heavenly Court's help, what is impossible? The important thing now is, other than Feng Juzhe, who else is coming? Both sides chased and ran for half a day. While they were in a desert, Fang Yuan and the others frowned deeply. Omnidirectional travel could not be used endlessly. It expended the GU Immortals' own Dao marks. If this continued, without fighting Feng Juzhe, their battle strength would fall drastically. But fighting Feng Juzhe was too risky. Not just his battle strength, but also the fact that there might be others. If there was a rank 8 GU Immortal, Fang Yuan and the rest would have a low chance of winning. Feng Juzhe is only rank 7, Heavenly Court's rank 8s cannot enter his immortal aperture. As for Heavenly Court's rank 8 phantom apertures, they cannot contain living things. Furthermore, we have teleported to so many places. After such a distance, even if someone was behind Feng Juzhe, they would be left in the dust already. Bai Ningbing said. She wanted to fight. Fang Yuan nodded. I think so too. Let's wait for him here. If we do not beat him, he will catch up eventually. Bai Ningbing was stunned. She started to look around vigilantly. She understood Fang Yuan, since he wanted to fight Feng Juzhe, and since there was not enough time to set up an immortal GU formation, the location he chose to fight in would be a special one. However, before Bai Ningbing noticed anything, the music of an ancient zither was heard. Next, following some light ripples, a golden door appeared. From within the door, Feng Juzhe walked out, facing Fang Yuan and the others again. "Everyone, we meet again." Feng Juzhe smiled as he greeted. Bai Ningbing was expressionless, while He Lu Lan, Miao Yin, and White Rabbit were solemn. A person's reputation provides shelter like the shadow of a tree. The mental pressure that Feng Juzhe imposed on them was huge. Chapter 1420. Shadow Sect fights Feng Juzhe. Feng Juzhe wore a red and white robe. He was extremely handsome. While looking at Shadow Sect's immortals, he smiled warmly with great flair and elegance. He showed no battle intent or killing intent, but Shadow Sect felt great pressure from him. Feng Juzhe, Fang Yuan walked out and muttered. He was graceful and elegant, his robe was white as snow, his face was pure as jade, his eyes were dark and unfathomably deep. Seeing this, Lady White Rabbit's heart jumped. She thought, the two strongest people under rank 8 in the current world are finally going to fight. Speaking of which, even though Fang Yuan and Feng Juzhe had not interacted for a long time, the interactions between them were quite deep and long-lasting. Years ago, Fang Yuan snatched to Immortal blessed land and took away Feng Jinhuang's fortuitous encounter. He became noticed by Feng Juzhe as a result. But at that time, Feng Juzhe was a great rank 7 GU Immortal, an established expert who had high fame. But Fang Yuan was just immortal, he was like an ant, even if he was quite impressive, that was nothing much. Who could have thought that after a few years, not only did Fang Yuan become a GU Immortal, he was even the owner of Spring Autumn Cicada and destroyed 88 Truyong Building, he joined the Battle of Yitian Mountain, Reverse Flow River, and the Southern Border Dream Realm. Right now, he was extremely famous and was pursued by Heavenly Court, his reputation was on par with Feng Juzhe. Fang Yuan saved Feng Juzhe, and Feng Juzhe saved him in return, their debts to each other had all been settled already. Right now, these two were fighting for their respective factions using their true strength. Feng Juzhe, you chased us all the way to this place, did you know that you are handing your life over to me? Fang Yuan snickered, he shot out like lightning, pouncing at Feng Juzhe. Saying so, a robe and sash appeared around his body, his black hair swayed in the air as his eyes shone like lightning, he rapidly engaged in this climactic battle. Immortal killer move, reverse flow protection seal. Feng Juzhe's gaze was fixed on him. He had already seen the power of this world-famous killer move before. He could guess that reverse flow protection seal was very complex and hard to activate, it needed a lot of time to set up. If he sneak attacked, Fang Yuan would not have time to use this move, the battle would be in his favor. But unfortunately, Fang Yuan did not give Feng Juzhe this opportunity. And because Shadow Sect had superb investigative killer moves, Feng Juzhe could not find a chance to attack. Seeing Fang Yuan's assault, Feng Juzhe broke into a wide smile. He spoke openly, I could teleport here because of my self-created immortal killer move, Yang Pastun. And more importantly, my Yang Pastun has not ended yet. As he said that, he burst out in golden light. The golden light had no offensive power, but the light flickered and vanished rapidly, along with Feng Juzhe himself. What? At almost the same time, Fang Yuan could hear the tune of an ancient zither getting louder. The sound became loud and soft at times, it was as if the person playing it was moving around him. Fang Yuan's heart shook, he suddenly remembered that this was Feng Juzhe's movement method that had displayed great power during the 5 regions chaotic war. It allowed Feng Juzhe to turn into formless sound waves and move around before turning back into human again. Sound path was not a mainstream path, and because this move was extremely unique to itself, normal methods could not restrict Feng Juzhe's movement. Be careful, He Lu Lan alerted. They had also heard the tune of the ancient zither, they all retreated subconsciously. But their speed was slower than Yang Pastun, they did not know Feng Juzhe's exact location, they could only retreat towards a random direction. Lady White Rabbit suddenly heard an explosion of zither music as Feng Juzhe formed towards the right of her instantly. Clang! Feng Juzhe had a curious gaze as he pointed at Lady White Rabbit, as sounds of clashing weapons could be heard. Lady White Rabbit screamed in a shrill voice, at this instant, she felt an intense threat of death. She rapidly retreated, but the sharp sound waves stabbed into her chest. At the next moment, blood spewed as black fog appeared from Lady White Rabbit's body. Within the black fog, Black Tigress appeared, she flew into the sky while atop a lizard. Rank 6 Lady White Rabbit was not Feng Juzhe's match. At the crucial moment, her other self, Black Tigress, appeared to save their life. Even so, Black Tigress was heavily injured, she quickly escaped and tried to heal herself. Feng Juzhe did not pursue her. He knew that his sneak attack had not succeeded, he had lost his initiative, now that everyone was alert, it would not be as effective anymore. And most importantly, Feng Juzhe frowned as he looked at the desert below. This is Anti-Sound Desert, the place where you die. Saying so, Fang Yuan pounced at him again. So that's it, Feng Juzhe realized. At the next moment, he turned into sound waves as Yongpa's tune allowed him to dodge again. However, Feng Juzhe, who reappeared elsewhere, had an ugly expression. His smile had faded mostly, there was seriousness in his gaze. Western Desert's Anti-Sound Desert had the same fame as Southern Border's Silent Hill. They were famous in the world, and were extremely unfavorable for Sound Path GU Immortals. Because at these two places, Sound Path Dao marks were extremely suppressed, all Sound Path killer moves were greatly weakened. Earlier, Feng Juzhe wanted to teleport behind Lady White Rabbit to kill her. But in the end, he was exposed when he got 100 steps near her. This allowed Lady White Rabbit to escape from her fatal danger. Anti-Sound Desert. In the past, this special area was stolen by thieving heaven demon Venerable. To think that it ended up here. How did Fang Yuan know? Hey, I almost forgot that he is the new leader of Shadow Sect, it is natural that he knows some secrets. Feng Juzhe guessed. He had guessed wrongly, Shadow Sect did not know about this place. Fang Yuan knew because in the 500 years of his previous life, during the 5 regions chaotic war, this place was exposed and made use of. Feng Juzhe's expression suddenly changed as he looked at his arms. He did not know when it started, but there was a thick layer of frost on his arms and back. That dragon lady Bai Ningbing. Feng Juzhe looked at Bai Ningbing with an admiring gaze. Immortal killer move, cold eyes. This was Bai Ningbing's method. Even though Feng Juzhe moved quickly, Cold Eye's killer move was even faster, he just had to be in Bai Ningbing's field of vision, it was nearly instantaneous. Feng Juzhe laughed heartily as he stretched out his palm, touching the frost. Instantly, the sound of bells rang as the frost melted. Bai Ningbing snorted as the light in her dragon eyes intensified. Troublesome. Feng Juzhe frowned slightly, he used Yongpa's tune to teleport away. But at the next moment, when he reappeared, not only was he met with Bai Ningbing's cold eyes, he was even attacked by Fairy Miao Yin's curved moon. Immortal killer move, curved moon. Fairy Miao Yin's eyes have 2 curved moons in them. Similar to cold eyes, this was a sight-based attack, it was extremely quick to activate. Feng Juzhe was hit and his body shook. Fairy Miao Yin was shocked, she was confident in curved moon's power, but it only made Feng Juzhe's body shake. Feng Juzhe's foundation in defense was extremely deep. Back then, even against Wu Yong's battlefield immortal killer move, he lasted such a long time. This curved moon killer move was nothing much. Chirp chirp. Suddenly, the chirping of birds could be heard. A group of fire birds flew towards Feng Juzhe. Bam 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 bam. At the next moment, the fire birds self-detonated and exploded loudly, but they soon turned silent. Because this was Anti-Sound Desert. The explosions engulfed Feng Juzhe, the heat caused powerful currents to push out towards the surroundings. At once, red light shone on the faces of Fang Yuan and the others. The temperature of the place went up rapidly. He Lu Lan stood far away, battle intent surging in her eyes. This was the immortal killer move that she used, Angry Bird. Feng Juzhe reappeared at a distance. He was unharmed, the exploded angry birds did not affect him. Fang Yuan charged towards him while the other Shadow Sect immortals attacked from all directions. Feng Juzhe laughed soundlessly. Enough dodging, take this. Immortal killer move, Heaven and Earth Song. At once, the world sang. Music entered the ears of the immortals, their bodies shook, they felt like the sky was tall and the earth was wide, they felt themselves becoming more insignificant and minuscule, they felt like ants, they felt like dust. The feeling of being small and lowly emerged in them. Compared to heaven and earth, they were such insects, what could they possibly amount to? This was the might of Heaven and Earth Song. Not only were GU immortals affected, even their immortal killer moves were influenced, while suppressed by Heaven and Earth Song, they would become weaker as they dissipate after a few breaths of time. This move was one of Feng Juzhe's signature killer moves. Back then during the Battle of Luokou Valley, Qin Baisheng and his group suffered from it. Now, it was time for Fang Yuan and the rest to face it. He Lu Lan and the rest did not feel good, but Fang Yuan was relentlessly moving forward. Reverse flow protection seal was unmoved, only some ripples appeared on the surface, not just that, it even reflected a portion of Heaven and Earth Song's power back to Feng Juzhe. Feng Juzhe tasted the power of his killer move for the first time. Seeing Fang Yuan, who approached brazenly, he frowned as he used Yongpa's tune to teleport again. Reverse flow protection seal rendered Heavenly Court, longevity heaven, and Purple Mountain true monarch without options. Wu Yong was also unable to get past it, not to mention Feng Juzhe. Feng Juzhe felt a headache seeing Fang Yuan. He had finally understood how Wu Yong felt. Forget about Fang Yuan, I should get rid of his subordinates first. Feng Juzhe did not want to fight with Fang Yuan, he placed his target on the rest.